about Open Business Networking Community. So Open Business Networking Community on Clubhouse, we are available every day morning 6:30 a.m. So let me give you a little brief information on every day what are the sessions we conduct. So every day morning we are conducting on the category of health care, healthcare industry. So this has been taken care by the moderator. We have Ramesh Narayan. Mr. Ramesh Narayan is into health coach. He's a certified and qualified health coach. His wife is a doctor, and he's gonna be leading us on Mondays related to health coach industry. So that is what he's going to talk about, and we are going to have qualified doctors coming in. We're going to have nutritionist coming in, and we're going to have dermatologist, cosmetologist, trichologist, and some neurologist, or maybe some surgeons are going to come. They're going to be our speakers for the day on Mondays. So they're going to give all the health-oriented tips and advices, and they're going to talk about the services what been providing for the society, and they're going to give a lot of awareness related to health. So that is going to be on Monday, and on Tuesdays we have food industry, where this will be taken care by Padmaja ma'am from Mysore. So she is into food industry, and she's going to lead the day for Tuesdays for food industry with a lot of women entrepreneurs and a lot of other men entrepreneurs. They are going to be a speaker who are related to health. I mean, who are related to the food industry. They're going to give a lot of information on related to the food industry and kind of food products, and they're going to give all the information on health benefits on using some food supplements, or maybe ingredients and all this stuff. So they're going to give us a lot of detailed information on the food industry and do's and don'ts and all this stuff. So this is going to help us out on the food industry to know more. So, and the same way, on Wednesdays, we have a category for construction, architect, interior, and decor. So this is going to be the category of subject which is going to be on every Wednesdays. So which is going to be led by Padma, we have Shailaja Sampangi. So Sailaja Sampangi ma'am is going to take care of leaders on Wednesdays, where ma'am is already an expert in ambience, to make your ambience very wonderful ambience, beautiful ambience of your space, maybe a commercial space or maybe a residential space. So that is what she is into, and she is into completely into lighting industry, where she's going to make your place very elegant. So this is what they're going to do, and she's going to lead us on all these categories, and a lot of speakers are going to come from different backgrounds. So maybe you're into borewell, or you're maybe you're into lift installation, elevator installation, or whatever. These all fall into the same category. So you guys can be a speaker, can be a part of this day and give us information on this particular industry on your business category. And we have Thursdays dedicated for education and coaching. So you might be this will be led by Sunil Satyendra, who is highly qualified and authorized certified coach, and he is going to lead this day on Thursdays, where a lot of world class leaders are going to come in and give us a lot of information, the life coach, motivators, authors, and writers, or maybe people who are training up corporate companies and training a lot of MNC companies. So this experts gonna come and give us a lot of light, ignite us, and give us a lot of awareness session, and support us all business entrepreneurs on the challenges what we're going through, because coaching is something which needs everybody. Every day is a learning, right? So being a business entrepreneur, these Thursdays can be a learning for us. Every day you learn something for sure. So that is what it's going to be for Thursdays. And Friday is dedicated for agriculture. Everybody needs a very quality good food, but agriculture is something this sector is always ignored, right? So That is why, we open business networking has been giving a lot of importance for agriculture field, for agriculture sector, and this has been led by Anthony Henry, who is 100% practicing only organic fields, organic farming. So, not even using one single insecticides or pesticides. And for the chickens or birds or whatever he's been growing for the animal husbandry, he's not even using one single vaccination or any kind of pesticides used. So this is what, organic field is very important. And we need to give this era, it's a revolution where we need to give more importance for organic. And Anthony Henry is going to lead this day on all the Fridays. And we also have Mahantesh Patil, who is a scientist, who's an agriculture scientist. Can you believe it? We have a agriculture scientist who has a huge academy in Koppal, and he is actually helping out all the entrepreneurs, who wants to switch to agriculture field, and the corporate companies, corporate employees who wants to come into the agriculture field, start up and agri field, he's gonna give them, he's gonna give them a lot of light on them, to upskill them, okay, to train them up, the basic to the advanced level. They also have academy and they also have accommodation available. So people who are interested from corporate companies, or you're an entrepreneur or whatever, whenever you are thinking or planning to switch to agriculture or to start the agriculture field, so this is the right place, on Fridays we can join in for agriculture, where this session will be taken related to completely agriculture, where you will be trained up or you will be upskilled, you will be getting a lot of awareness sessions and everything. There are a lot of agriculturalists who are there from doing from decades, but there are a lot of things which they are lacking with skills. They are doing some mistakes which is repeatedly doing, and they don't get good results. So these sessions what we conduct on Fridays, so this is going to help them out a lot. And to boost this session, so we have a mentor for this Fridays agriculture session, who is Srinivas Acharya, who was two times awarded, national awardee, national award, which is got for giving a very good service for the society. And he's going to be the mentor, and he's going to lead this day for Fridays for agriculture. And we have Anthony Henry, we have Mahantesh Patil who's going to lead this, and Srinivas Acharya is going to be who's going to be a mentor for this. And Srinivas Acharya is into huge multiple animal husbandry. He's an expert on that, and he's been training people in India, and he's also training for all the people from different countries. People coming into his his farm, which is called as Yashodhavana in Mysore. So where people are getting trained from all over the worldwide, and this is what he's been doing. He has a huge goat farm, and he has multiple animal husbandry. So agriculture is also depending on animal husbandry, right? So this is why, we are balancing everything on Fridays, and we are going to have amazing sessions on Friday to upskill all the farmers, to know all the technologies, related to the agriculture, how it can boost your business on agriculture. So that is what it's going to be on Fridays. And yes, so Saturdays. So Saturdays is something very special what we have. For every single business entrepreneur, there are some challenges what they face. That is nothing but brand activation, or could be business sales and marketing. So this is something a challenge, what about the sales you got for the last quarters? How to get the sales leads, how to get your sales in up going up upwards, right? Every month, every quarter, how you can take the sales upward, right? So that is why we have Saturdays dedicated for sales and marketing. And we have a legendary person, we have Edward Chaladurai, who is going to lead this day, and he is a brand activationist, he's a brand activationist. And Edward Chaladurai, he has done amazing things, to talk about him. He is the one who's launched the KTM bike. He's the one who launched Volvo, and he's the one, done a brand activation for a lot of reputed multimillionaire companies. And Edward Chaludra is going to lead us on Saturdays. And we also have Dr. Gerson, who is going to be a companion for Dr. for Edward Chaladarai. So Edward Chaladarai and Dr. Gerson, they both are going to lead Saturdays on category of sales and marketing, brand activation. So every business, individual business entrepreneurs can be a part of this Saturday's session, where you will be upskilled on all these challenges, which you'll be facing. How to get business level, how to get your sales to be intact, and then the making strategies, all this stuff you will be learning, you'll be upskilled. A lot of awareness programs will be conducted on Saturdays. So this will be really amazing. A lot of huge, big, reputed entrepreneurs are going to be a part of this session, and they'll be giving you taking all the sessions. And if you are one of them, who can give us a lot of detailation on sales and marketing and strategies and all this stuff, ideas. So you can also be a speaker for Saturdays. So that is what we do on Saturdays. And Sundays, it's going to be very favorite for all the business entrepreneurs, because Sundays it's going to be introduce yourself and represent your business. So this is all sessions are recorded session. On this Sundays, what we are going to have, the most of the people on Sundays, they're at home, and all the business entrepreneurs, they have a break on Sundays, where this Sundays you participate, you can introduce yourself and you can represent your business. So this way you can reach out a lot of business entrepreneurs. They are very keen on understanding your business. So what business service you are into, what kind of vendor you are, and what kind of products you sell. So all these things, where people are very keen on understanding your business services, and they're very keen on giving you connection. They are very keen on giving you potential connection. So this is what we do. We try to understand each other's business services, what we do, and we have a lot of most of the people whom we have in open business networking. They try to understand your business, and they see from their network, from their connections, how they can give you some potential connection. So most of the connection comes internally in open business networking, and we've been crores of transaction which has been happening all the time. So we have already crossed 12 crores of business transaction in this 2024 year. So we are going forward, and we are looking for big numbers in 2025. So this is what we've been doing. And Saturday session has been recorded session, right? So we are going to take your clip. We are going to take your recorded clip of your session individually, and we are going to take the clip and share it with your targeted audience. We know who is your targeted audience. It could be a manufacturer, or it could be a factories, or it could be the industrialist, or any industry. It could be any corporate companies or whatever. We are going to share your clip with your targeted audience directly. So the magic is, before you know your client, before you know your targeted audience, your client, your targeted audience is getting to know about you. He's going to getting to know about your services, the significance of the services, the uniqueness of your services and product, what you do. So people your clients, your targeted audience, when they get to know about you, they are going to get connected with you. Right before you know about your client, your targeted audience, the targeted audience is going to know about your portfolio. They're going to know about your services, your product, the significance of the services, what you're going through. So these all things will be known, and they will directly get in touch with you. So this is what we've been trying to do, and through the clubhouse, introduce yourself and represent your business. There have been a lot of transactions which has been created, a lot of sales lead which has been come through just by sharing this clip with our targeted audience. So this is how you get benefited. So don't miss this out on Sundays. So please introduce yourself, represent your business, and get a good lead. So this is going to help you out on every Sundays. And surprisingly, so we've been covered all the seven days of the week on early morning, 6:30 a.m. That is when we're going to start open business networking in Clubhouse. So surprisingly, we also coming up on Sundays and Monday, Monday, we're coming at tuning time, night 8 p.m. We're going to start our session. So Sundays, it's going to be other category on Sundays. If you're falling into other categories, you also get an opportunity to be a speaker. You can come up and talk about your business services. We can talk about your business industry, what is into. So this is what we do on Sundays night, 8 p.m. So you can be a part of Sunday night as being taking a session, and there'll be a lot of mentorship programs. There'll be training sessions. There'll be brainstormings. So a lot of awareness programs, and which is going to benefit for all the business entrepreneurs. Every single business entrepreneurs, it's something every day is a learning. So that is why we've been created this platform for you all. So please make sure you attend these sessions and get benefited. and get a very good potential connection and network. So we do that together, and let's grow together. On Mondays, we again gonna conduct night, 8 p.m. That's gonna be again very reputed one, very popular one. Introduce yourself, represent your business again on Monday night. So Sunday morning, 6:30 a.m. It's gonna be again introduce yourself and represent your business. The same thing follows again. You get an opportunity at night time. It's gonna be at 8 p.m. Introduce yourself, represent your business. So this is all for to give you brief information on clubhouse meetings what we conduct. Apart from this, we also conduct meetings every single week on Wednesdays. We conduct virtual meeting. So this virtual meeting is the only platform where you get to know all the exciting benefits of open business networking. So if you want to know all the exciting benefits of open business networking, you need to be part of virtual meetings what we conduct on Wednesdays. It's going to be at 6:45 p.m. So you can be a part, and you can definitely meet all the genuine business entrepreneurs, and that will be really great fun, to meet all the genuine entrepreneurs and talk about your business services, and you can see face to face, and you can see whom you're talking to. So this way, we can get to know about each other's business services on virtual meeting. So this is going to give you very potential connections, collaborations, unique business opportunities can be created. So that is what we go and do it on Wednesdays. And apart from this, every month, so we have a physical meetup conducted. So it's going to be conducted in it's called as a coffee connect meet. What we do every single month, a physical meetup. So this physical meetup is going to be conducted in a world class ambience, in a world class business boardroom. So in this business boardroom, we are going to give all the facilities to you. With the projector and all this stuff, where every single business entrepreneurs are going to come as a keynote speakers. So they're going to come as a keynote speaker with their presentation slides, where you're going to project your presentation slides on the screen, and you're going to present it. You're going to talk about slide by slide in detail about your business services, and you're going to talk about the significance of your services, the uniqueness of your services. You're going to talk about your product. So this is how you're going to be presenting it with all the people. And you know what? As being a keynote speaker and presenting it on the screen, and you're talking about slide by slide in detailed information, that's going to create a very great impact on everybody. So this impact is going to create in such a way where people, they get to know how professional you are, how much product knowledge you have, and people, they get to know you're doing in a large scale, your portfolio. People can see all your work samples. So this is what you've been providing the services for the multi-million companies, and maybe the reputed clients. So this is what the portfolio will be created. So once people, they get to know about your services, your potential, your knowledge, your product knowledge, and how professional you are. So there's the one thing which builds on everybody. That impact will be created in such a way where people will not have any hesitation to give you connection. Simple it is. So once they don't have any hesitation, they give you connection. They take the services from you. They give you the potential connections in their network. Someone is looking for that services, they remember you. Once you created that impact on this presentation as being a keynote speaker, so people, they never forget your face, they never forget your name, they never forget your brand name, they remember all the services and product what you serve, what you give. So in this way, in their network, whenever they come across someone is looking for the service or product, they're going to remember you. They're going to give you connection. Why they give you connection? Because they know you're potentially good at giving services. You have a very good business. You have a product knowledge. So this professionalism will be known to everybody once they get to know. So nobody gets any hesitation to give you connection. So this is how the trust is built. One thing I can promise you, which is very important to be said. So that's nothing but I must say this, because when you're connecting with someone, okay, so you feel really am I connecting with a genuine person or not? So what we have is anybody can be a part of open business networking, and very surprisingly, open business networking community, to be a part of it, to be a member of open business networking community, you don't need to pay anything. There is no any registration fees. There is no any renewals for lifetime. So this is what we are doing. So but to be a part of open business networking, it's so easy, but it is also difficult, because every single business entrepreneur who's going to be a part of open business networking, we are going to do a detailed authenticity check, and sometimes if it's required, we also do a background verification from professionals. So this is how we can be a part of open business networking community, and we can continue further. So This is all about Open Business Networking, and this is Raghavendra representing Open Business Networking. Thank you so much for coming into Clubhouse session on 6:30 a.m. It's going to be connected every day, so don't miss it out. So let us start our day with a great positive energy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Raghavendra. Good morning, everybody. Ramesh Narayan over here. And today, I welcome everyone to this uh, unique session on health. That's Monday morning, and it's a great way to start the week to talk about health, to know a little bit more about health. Today, we have a very unique speaker. He's not a stranger to any one of us, Dr. Rao from Ohio. He's a mentor for this group. So just a quick background about Dr. Rao. He's a physician of internal medicine with MD from New York University. He's practiced for the last 45 years. He's a master's in biomedical informatics from OHSU Portland, Oregon in USA. Advanced yoga Advaita Vedanta practitioner. He is also now the CEO and CWO, that's the Chief Wellness Officer of DAPAL LLC, an online wellness optimizing company with services from fusion of modern medicine and ancient wisdom. The services are proactive wellness clubs, coaching for burnout and stress of physicians, IT professionals, and leaders of corporations. Now he's on a mission to make wellness as a movement and make wellness of people, the health systems, and society and the planet. So I'd like to welcome Dr. Rao to this forum today, and he has a blueprint for stress-free life, especially for the entrepreneur. So over to you, Dr. Rao.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you very much. Hello, Raghava. Hello, everybody. Good evening or good morning for you. Uh, yeah, I took this topic just to answer so many people asking me questions about my personal day. How does it go? And how is that I claim I don't have stress in the sense, mainly because I cultivated a lifestyle that is fusing from the modern medicine, what the best practices we know, and also wisdom of the ancients. That's where I think we are missing out, and we have current medical state of too many chronic diseases, too much life spent in disease, not in wellness. For me, wellness has a holistic definition. You got to be a firm and energetic body, flexible body, and you have a mind that is focused and that is really helping you, not giving you stress. And also you have a heart that is open and you are giving to life. So you have to have all spaces of our existence to be well, and also not to be well, but also be well for a long time. Not only for a long time, but that time should be rather joyous, rather, really enjoyable. Okay? It is possible. That's what I'm saying. I am now 70, but I don't take any medications because I follow the lifestyle where it is really fostering the wellness. The four pillars of wellness we all know: nutrition, big part; exercise, big part; and rest and sleep, that is also a big part; and calming the mind. That's when yoga really excelled. It's actually yoga is about mind. The physical exercises are all just to keep the body healthy enough so that you can sit and meditate. That was the purpose of the yoga. And the real purpose was to really realize who we really are, and knowing that we are part of that awareness that is all over us. Okay, that is the real yoga. But for that, you have to have a healthy body and you have to have a healthy mind. Really sit down and able to meditate. That was the original thing about that. Now, when I did my modern medicine practice for about 40 plus years, I had to treat so many illnesses, which was okay, which was my duty. But I thought they could have avoided so much of illness just by following healthy principles, moving the body as much as possible, keeping the mind quiet, and then having the vital nutrition. So, those are the things that really helps you to be well. It used to be people used to walk a lot, do a lot of physical work, even the regular work, and also they were not sitting in a chair and then really filling their mind with a lot of information. That has all changed for us. We have found a lot of good things through the modern medicine, like a vaccines, like antibiotics, like trauma care, cardiovascular care, number of good things for the acute care medicine. But I found so many people are suffering from chronic diseases that can be traced to our lifestyles. We became more sedentary. We are eating all processed food. We are not resting properly, and we are not really doing anything with our mind. So my purpose was to really make everybody wellness oriented, not only the you know our individual self, our communities, but also our health systems should be oriented towards. So I start with myself, with my family, with my friends, whoever I meet, and also I talk to the health systems. And lots of times they are burned out physicians, burned out nurses. So I help them with that to overcome that, and it had been good in that respect. But then too many people are really burning out and they want to leave the profession too. Or some of them are committing suicide. Doctors committing suicide. That's a real tragedy. If this goes like this, we will have very few doctors and nurses in the field. That way, we cannot really run our hospital systems, and that will be a national emergency. That's why I put a lot of energy into that. In that process, I found this company, online company, where I said, okay, you can go to your doctor and get the treatments and all that, but understand why you are getting sick. Maybe you are not doing the right things. So change your lifestyles so that you don't have to be sick all the time. And also, you can develop your own resistance and resilience inside so that you can tackle. So there are a number of nutritionists, there are a number of physiotherapists, there are a number of people teach you meditation. Take advantage of all those trainings and then go there and prevent them before they become problems. So not the your body is warning you, your mind is warning you, then you know what it is. So you have to be aware of that and then go and take help and then get better that way. So this fusion of modern medicine and not only yoga but also other things, Ayurveda, Chinese medicine, is a lot of things are there from the ancients, right? So I call that ancient wisdom. Japanese also. And then it's not just an idea, it's like a lived reality for me. So I want to convey to you how I live a day in my life so that you can have an idea about what I'm talking about. It's kind of we're embedding the principles of proactive wellness, self awareness, and mindful service. So, as a physician, my journey, as a healer, my journey is not marred by stress, but instead it is enriched with clarity, balance, and joy. By the way, I put some slides on the YouTube. If you want to go there, I gave the connection link to Ramesh Narayan. If you can make it available for them, Ramesh, they can go and see the slides. I'm going to make available for them so that they can understand these things what I'm talking about. Okay. So what I do is, rather than allowing myself to the external pressures that dictate my inner state, I kind of anchor myself in awareness and then use my body and the mind as tools rather than identifying with them. So, this approach really enables me to remain centered, free from reactive emotions, and fully present in every moment. See, that is where I really want to integrate the wisdom with our modern style of living and live that reality and really have this structured approach of awareness, balance, and self regulation. So that maintains my clarity. So they prevent unnecessary stress for me. That's what I want to relate to. So let us take the number one principle. the key themes of yogic lifestyles are awareness. This is so much different than thoughts and emotions, reactions, and all that. When you get up in the morning, the first thing is you are awake and you are aware. You are aware there's the day, the sunlight, there's people around you, and all that, right? Don't allow the thoughts to go on by themselves. Okay, so when you are in awareness, you are living with the presence, and also you are mindful in every moment. So you want to cultivate that by not allowing the thoughts going running. So don't open the devices, just be aware and then take some deep breaths. Be aware of the air coming through the nose and touching the nose, the touch sensation of that, and also any sensations you have body, be in touch with them. Basically, you are bringing yourself to the presence and anchor there and take it like a perfume for the entire day. That is what's happening with me because I'm always in the moment, present moment awareness, PMA, I call it. And then this breath control. Suppose you have a lot of thoughts coming up, take deep breaths. The breath and thought, they both come on the same source. So when the thoughts are running, if you can deep breathe and slow your breath, the thoughts go down. That's natural. Okay, everyone knows. You are anxious, you go and see somebody, they say, come on, take a deep breath, right? That is very natural. So but there are so many different varieties of pranayama we can do, which I learned, which I teach. In the morning time, I do what's called daily routine, morning routine, that we could do in the morning. Suppose you are going to work during the day, so that you can prepare your body with the stretches and deep breathing so that energy is there, and then you can prepare your mind to be one pointed, to be really concentrated, so you are focused mind, so that when you go to work you are really focused and you're enjoying the work by really attending to it. And then open your heart to help the world, to give something back to the world. You make a living, you make a business, it's all fine, but do that like a service. That those are the principles I teach in the morning routine, because too many people are going there really not getting ready for their body and for their mind, and when they go there they allow themselves to be reactive and then secrete a lot of stress hormones, and they kind of get stressed, right? Instead of that, take deep breaths and recruit your parasympathetic nervous system. That nervous system is the rest and digest system, which is really helps you to calm down, to be not reactive but responsive. What happens is, whenever you see something dangerous, or you imagine in your mind, oh, this is danger, they may abuse me, or they may punish me, or I may lose my job, I may have some problem with my product, whatever, then you kind of secrete all these stress hormones, because the sympathetic overtone results in a lot of stress hormones, right? So to nullify that, deep breathing is a very simple thing that you have at hand. And also you start to notice when you start to deep breathe that you are not reacting as much. You have a gap. In that gap, the prefrontal cortex, not the limbic system, which is for the fearful and all that, that takes over, and that kind of gives you real viveka in this sense. So discrimination, wisdom to go about each situation. Is this trivial? Why do I have to react like that? That kind of thing will come, and once you discriminate like that, you will notice you are not reacting to all the trivialities. For some people, money is also trivial, but other people, it could be a word, or it could be body language, whatever, right? So basically, you want to be not reacting to everything, but responding them with balance, not emotive responses, not fear, not really thinking that I'm going to lose this. None of that. And also, you will come with abundance that is within you, rather than I don't have this resistance to take all these insults or whatever, right? So I always insist on people learning how to deep breathe, sit straight, and take deep breaths whenever you have a chance. You know what I do? If I'm in your room, if I'm talking, that's fine. But Ramesh is talking, I'm listening to him, I start to deep breathe so that I take advantage of the time here also not to stress me out. Try that and see how it works. So I get up in the morning, being aware, anchoring myself in that awareness, and there is a deeper wisdom in this. It's called Chit Jada Grandhi. What it is Jada is inert substance in Sanskrit. That is our body. Doesn't say I am. And Chit is your awareness, your inner essence. That doesn't say. That's a conscious being. But Grandhi, the knot between these two, is the emanation of I thought. That's the first thought you have. Be aware of that. Be in the awareness rather than in thought. This is a big deal because most of the Western society, along with this whole world now, is on thought, whereas ancient people really were in the beyond the thought in the awareness. Grasp that, go and examine it and see what it is, where you are. Are you in thought of yesteryear, what happened yesterday or before in the past, or are you in thought with the future? Then you are missing the present, which is real life. Once you are aware of, I am in the mind, not in real life, then you will come to the presence immediately. In the present, we have the life, what is happening in front of you. So then you can perceive what is happening in front of you and then go by whatever is presented to you rather than your conditioned thought that accumulates so many experiences or imagining so many experiences in the future. That is reacting. That's why in all ancient wisdom, important thing is still the thought, but use the thought for practical purpose, but not for psychological thing. That is the ending of thought, as described by J. Krishnamurti and other people too. So, what you want to understand is awareness is fundamental. In awareness, all thought, all feelings, everything is happening. So you want to be in the original awareness so that you can use the thought when you need it. Like I am using thought now to communicate my ideas. My I'm describing my day and all that. But right after this is done, I will let it go. I don't cling to the thought. That is one thing yoga teaches you. So anchor yourself in the awareness when you get up in the morning. Okay. So what happens is awakening with awareness and the energy that comes with it is enormous. You can experience it yourself. So each morning I wake up without rushing into thought. I do not open the devices, and I'll also deliberately bring my attention to my breath. Thereby, I really come into the momentary awareness, present moment awareness, PMA, I call it. Okay, so instead of allowing my mind to take control immediately, I abide in the pure awareness, recognizing that I am not my body or my thoughts, but I am the real essence that infuses life and vitality into this. Right? So, awareness, then deep breaths, that I do, and then I embark on the conscious management of thought. That means I use thought as objects, I use thoughts as tools, and then getting them go when not needed. Once it is done, you have to learn to let it go. That means if I have a patient, I will give complete attention to him. I will resolve his problem. I will go to the next patient. I don't want to bring the previous patient into this patient. So all I can do is complete attention to this patient. So that complete attention to each action without bringing all the other weight of the past is very healthy. Then you can attend to each patient at a time and you are not stressed out confusing between two. Even in EMR, I don't open two patients at a time. I only open one patient at a time, and that's a less chance of making mistakes and also the confusion. This multitasking is something that I'm very much against that, because lots of times this multitasking takes your attention later on. Do one thing at a time. Maybe a few seconds you do one task, that's fine. Then go to the next. Finish one task and go. That is what I teach everybody. Attention to every action. So remember this AAV. A is first awareness when you get up and anchor yourself and carry that like a perfume through the day. Be aware all the time. And then whatever we do, give complete attention. So that's what I do in the morning. And then once we understand what is the problem with all this, you can have good yoga stretches, good breathing, which I do with the morning routine. Everybody is welcome to come to me at 8 o'clock Central Time. I do it every day. And then I do it on the multiple platforms, including the Instagram, where they can see me on the video, and also on the LinkedIn or YouTube, and also Clubhouse. And I open it on the Docs and the Burnout and all that. Okay. Then after I wake up and then really have a good breakfast. That's very important, right? After all the things that we do, bathing and everything, then come and have a really should be a meditative act what you are eating. Be completely aware, chew and savor the food. And make sure the content is not inflammatory, not like a processed food. It should be wholesome thing, right? Once you are done with that, once you have the mindful eating, you go to the work. Mid morning, what you do is you service whatever you do with awareness, thinking that is the worship of yours. That's what I do. Bringing yogic presence into medicine, where I see the being of my patient and nothing else matters to me. Then that doesn't matters in the sense gender, age, social status, politician, non-politician, whatever status, none of it matters. Whoever walks in front of me is a human being. Be in touch with the being, not with the mind, not with the body. But don't judge them based on that. Everybody is equal being. In that, we are actually all one. I take that approach by saying to my patient, Namaste. The real meaning of Namaste is the being of mind, which is divine, is prostrating to the divine being within you, like everybody else here. And once you are in there, your um, connection with the person will be at a higher level, and then you will not get into any petty things, and you will really try to serve the person. At least for me, that is the reality. Okay, and also I want to listen to them, so I don't want my own mind going on. So I don't have any mental chatter when I go and talk to him and find out what is going on with his suffering, why, what brings him there. And then they usually tell me a lot more than they told the nurse, because they feel comfortable that there's somebody who is listening. All we have to do is calm our intellectual chatter, emotional chatter, and be here and now, and then just listen to him, maybe some pointed questions. This we have evolved into motivational interviewing, where we allow the patient to describe his suffering in his own words. That really helps him to validate it. Somebody accepted his suffering, somebody is really listening. They have an ear for his suffering, right? So then we may say, what is the guidance based on holistic wellness? Not just the symptom treatment. What are the lifestyles that brought him to this? Are there any lifestyles we can correct slowly? Maybe we'll treat him for symptoms right away, but our energy goes into the roots of illness. And that kind of perspective doesn't allow us to just run away from that, but more like, okay, we're going to help him, but also we're going to dig deep into that and then make sure that he doesn't do the same mistakes he has done to come to this. And they're receptive also at that time. And the long term, they do know that I look at the roots of illness, not only the process of illness. So that's how my day goes with the patients, completely rooted in the present. And then using thought consciously, not habitually. That means whatever I'm thinking, I'm consciously thinking and consciously ending. So thoughts arise when needed. I use them for diagnosis or problem solving. And once the purpose is done, I dissolve back into my silence. That is really beautiful. You can be in silence. This is the test of people who are dealing with modern information age is how often are you silent? Can you enjoy the beauty of silence of your mind? Stillness of mind, serenity of mind. Actually, stillness of mind is a property of the mind. A lot of people don't realize that. But if you do a unselfish work and if you are in balance of your body, breath, and mind, then you will also really feel that silence. So you use the thought and then you end the thought by slipping into that silence. The more you do that, the more it will be. Instead of letting mind go into the past and recollect all sorts of things, or exposing yourself to lots of unnecessary matters, gossip and all that, you will be focused on what you have to do, what is your purpose, and then once it is done, you kind of go back into the silence. It's easy possible if you are doing something like, uh, you know, I do teach a lot of things to the physicians. I tell them, take a walk in the park. That is the forest bathing. There, where we teach them with our senses and all that. Or you can walk on the corridors mindfully each step. Then you are really meditating while walking. Or you can do office yoga. These are some of the things I show them. Stretch and maybe breathe deeply for a while. Go to every 1 hour, take 1 minute break and take deep breaths. That will really help you to center your mind into the present moment. That's really, I do it and encourage my friends, whoever come to help for help of the stress or burnout, whatever they're going through. These are some of the things I add into their work. Suppose they don't have time to go to a gym or to a yoga studio, whatever. I take opportunity to discover what are the physical things that they could do in their work routine. If there are steps, I encourage them to take the steps. Maybe 2 steps at a time if they need more exercise. If they are long corridors, walk. Or if you are sitting in the chair, get up every few minutes and then walk around. That's good enough. This is a functional fitness that I incorporate into the routine. I do also because I don't sit really. I have this elevated desk. Then I can put my desk up and I'm not doing meetings. Another thing, if I'm looking at a video or YouTube or whatever, I stand up and look at it. And also I walk around too. So many ways you can do. There is another called Shatpavali. That means 100 steps you can take after you eat. In the same simple room, walk straight for 10 steps and walk back without turning another step. Like that, 5 times you do that, 100 steps are over, and that's a good practice. So be functionally fit by using the weight of your own body, by taking steps or by taking some squats or whatever, simple things. I have these threads also. You can use that too. The stretch threads. That's a very important thing too. Breathing, meditating, all these things can be incorporated into our work routine without other people noticing. Very simple. Okay, if you can do that, they will center your mind, don't allow you to develop what's called tamas. That's a lazy energy the yoga describes, where it is needed for the sleep. When you work a day and you're tired, you need the tamas to go to sleep, to calm down, to get everything done. But if you come to the office in the morning and immediately you sit in an easy chair and you take some Coca-Cola and then relaxing, you accumulate a lot of thermos. And over the years, that is the one which leads to a lot of chronic disease and a lot of functional loss. People cannot move, the jets creak, and then they have pains and all that, and then they will be more immobile, and then they will. See, even at this age, 70 years, I go up and down, I walk around, I help with the chores and everything. They're very easy. If I am not doing that, probably I will go down. I will accumulate more tamas. There's rajas, tamas, and sattvic. You don't want to be too much rajas, where you'll be nervous and frenetic. You don't want to be too much of tamas when it is not needed. Then that makes you age faster. You want to be in sattvic, in your diet, in your behavior, in your thinking. All that sounds sattvic can be followed. Balanced energy. Okay. Then afternoon comes. Morning, we kind of, we delayed the first thought, we did the pranayama, we did the Surya Namaskars or whatever, and then mindful eating and meditation. Afternoon, entering the work, we are carrying the awareness and avoiding the mental clutter and listening deeply and just staying present. I'm just recalling what we have done so far, okay? And then if you are in a high pressure environment, which I am lots of times, what are you going to do? How are you going to deal with it? Don't leave your deep breath. Do it as much as you can do without anybody noticing. You can do it. Then, if you take the conscious breaths before I see each patient, I can center myself very quickly. That became a habit. And then I do, sitting in the chair, I do chair yoga, stretching. Or you can do anything else you want to. You can walk in the corridor if you want to. Basically, what the idea is, the physical tension that you build up will be relieved with the exercise. And then also do the meditation while walking. That breaks are used to have this mindful walking, and each step is aware, and that grounds you to the present moment. Try it and see. Don't think something and walk. We come to the touch of the ground with your feet, and then immediately you come to the present moment. And then when I engage with people, I want to respond to the task, not to react emotionally. That is a non-reactive engagement, very important for every occasion that is there. So you just take a gap instead of reacting, then you recruit not your limbic system, your prefrontal cortex, and then you run into what we call buddhi in ancient wisdom, or they call it discretion, vivek, comes and kick in. That is the purpose of the prefrontal cortex. We all have it, but alas, very few people really use that. Okay, now you're done with your day and you have come home. What are you going to do in the evening? Spend a little time on reflecting. What has happened? How did I behave? Did I react excessively? What can I learn from that? Or that kind of thing. If you make a habit of it, then you will learn more of non-reactivity, and then responding to issue. If you have reacted, next time you won't be reacting. If you don't do anything like that, you will be habitually doing the same thing. And also, it's kind of a self-inquiry. Was I present all the time, or was I really going helter-skelter with small things? And also, you can spread your energy by teaching people what you were trying to practice and what you are practicing. That way, it becomes real knowledge for you that you are raking it up. Okay, and that becomes the learning and growth from your day's experience. You can share it with the family, you can share it with your staff, whatever. Okay, and then when you review these things without judgment, when you examine the day with self-awareness, not criticism, not self-criticism, but self-awareness of what has happened, and then when you really want to retire, then you can really retire on a mind that is resolved things, that really not clinging out to things. That's one thing I do is I never cling to anything. Let it go. All the mental impressions, let them go. Don't carry the workday into sleep. Release the day completely from your mind. Suppose I call this a review of reactions. Walk back evening to afternoon to morning. What are the encounters you had with so many different things? Every work has so many things. Then you see, suppose you lost your cool with some subordinate, or you are yelling at your kid, whatever. Review those reactions. If they are trivial, let them go right away. But if they are important that you want to remember about them tomorrow, put them on the device or write it on paper, whatever. But then eliminate them from the mind for the night. This is where I call vacating the mind. I take a vacation every day because I completely empty it. Awareness, attention, vacation. AAV. Awareness in the morning, attention during the day for everything, and vacating the mind before I go to sleep. Don't go to sleep with unhappiness or anger or all those things. We all know that. But a lot of people carry these mental impressions because they don't pay attention to it at all. Okay? So, also, there are yoga nidra, shavasana, which is a dead man's pose, and you can just sit silently, or you can do some chanting or contemplation, whatever works for you. For me, few seconds, my mind is quiet. I feel very lucky. Even the or practice problems or home problems, whatever, they are intense things were there, but I could calm myself very easily because I want to be in the present. And then the sorrow also goes down lots of times. Okay, so the core practice is this AAV: awareness in the morning, attention for every action during the day, and vacating the mind. You see, awareness upon awakening is starting the day in the silent presence, not in the network of thought. Attention toward the day means mindful action without mental noise. Inside, that's the flow state I teach. If you can go to any work and you do the flow state, actually your energy goes up because you don't feel like you have spent any energy at all, right? And the vacating the mind before sleep means empty all impressions and resting in your pure being, not in your thought, in your pure being. That really remarkably changed my sleep quality enormously. Now I sleep 2 3 hours like that, and when I wake up, energy is very very good. I usually wake up at 3:30, 4:30 like that, and then I have a very productive time those 3 4 hours. They call it Brahma Muhurt, but it's a very that's something completely different intonations. So by integrating modern medicine and yogi wisdom mean that you're going to live with all the scientific breakthroughs and take advantage of them. Thereby, the proactive wellness comes in there because we know so much about the nutrition, we know so much about the exercise physiology, we know so much about what is the molecular biology, genetic background, or microbiome, any number of things where have breakthroughs. We can advantageously use them and prevent a lot of things. But ancient wisdom, they had this inward knowledge about a human being, and that we are conveniently ignoring it, and that is foolish in my opinion. Okay, so this is how I get up in the awareness, be attentive to whatever I do, and then I vacate my mind and sleep. But in between also I eat properly. I eat according to my hunger, right? I don't eat habitually or for taste and all that. And that's also yogic practice. The yoga people eat only one time a day, ekabhukta. A householder can you do it 2 times, but a person who has a disease, he will eat 3 times. That's what they say. Yoga ekabhukta, samsari dvibhukta, and the rogi tribhukta. That's how they describe, and that is true. There's so much overeating, there's so much eating that's not really up after a ravenous appetite, more like because of the taste or because of the time, or somebody, mom or wife thinks, oh, you have to eat on time, and they spoil their diurnal cycle. You don't want to spoil your natural cycles. If you spoil them, then you're going to regret that. So always be natural, be protecting your inner rhythms, and then living. But if you are lost in thought, if you are really allowing the thought to go wherever it wants to go, you are going to break your sleep cycle, you're going to break your eating cycle, digestion cycle, and all that. And that's not good. Okay? So it's a more like a important thing that you want to understand, right? See, the core framework, as I explained to you, AAV, that's on the slide now. I already talked about that. And then the next one is, if you don't have overthinking, you got mental clarity. That is replacing the fatigue otherwise. With overthinking, you are going to be fatigued. So make sure the thoughts are serving you, not draining you. Okay? And also, if you have too many expectations about the day, you cannot be free from disappointment. But if you don't have any expectations but take everything according to what is presented to you, perspective, always really seeing what is happening in the now. And then you can take the reality as it unfolds. And the other thing is always in the deep presence and the balanced life. True fulfillment really comes from being fully here now. You fulfill that moment, and like that also goes. Don't live in your mind, live in the life here and now. And then that sustained well-being in all aspects of life is the balanced life. Once you have that, then you really enjoy life and you are not moping. Okay, it's not about yogi lifestyle is not about withdrawal. It's about deeper presence, deeper embracing of the life, everyday life. Okay, and also aligning body, breath, and mind working together so that you don't generate stress, you don't give any stress to other people, and you will be able to eliminate stress from your life. See, always true well-being is simple, self-aware, and mindful service. So they create the lasting health, and also you function optimally. Presence creates greater efficiency and effectiveness because you're completely focused on the present. That is the flow state that Patanjali talks about in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, where he talks about asana only one lat, sthira sukham asana. He talks about being ethical with the society, that is yamas, five of them, and then five qualities of being moral with yourself, that is for yourself practices. Once you are congruent with the society, congruent with yourself, with the values, then you do the physical exercise. Simple things, sitting down also for a long time on the floor is much better than on the chair, right? Or you can do some yoga asanas if you want to, that's fine too. Then you kind of take care of your breathing, then withdraw your senses so that you can work with the mind, where first you concentrate your thoughts, then stay with one thought, and then go beyond that one thought into the samadhi. That is essentially Patanjali Yoga Sutra. But there's a lot more there. The whole thing is about mind. Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Yoga is about mind. Once you understand there is no real mind, there are only thoughts, and how to handle the thoughts, you are blessed because you don't have the mental chatter and you have peace. And that peace is already within, you touch that. The happiness is already within, you touch that. Not that outward things are giving you. Once you have discovered this abundance within you, then you go and give out freely because you are full with whatever you have to have. That is the yogic wisdom gives us. And I was very happy to really share thoughts with you. And if you have any questions or any plans you want me to integrate for you, and you can DM me or you can talk, ask me here. Thank you, Ramesh, Raghav.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Amazing talk. I think if you have not written down, if people in the room have not written down, taken down in the notes, please revisit the audio replays and AAV, take down the notes, and it will be easier to practice. Over to you, Raghavendra, and room is open for Q&A.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rao. This is a really important session. That is what I felt, and it was very true. And yes, the room is open for everybody. Like, if you're in a good space from the listeners panel, you can raise your hands, you can come up to the speaker panel, we can have a conversation with Dr. Rao. Let us make it more interesting. So let us lead a very good lifestyle, which is always important, which Dr. Rao always keeps saying that. And yes, let us make it more interesting with good conversation. So, in the speaker panel, who wants to go first? Like, adding some values to this or adding some questions or conversation with Dr. Rao. Anybody wants to go first? Or maybe from the listeners panel, anybody wants to come, you can raise your hands. Okay, so Dr. Rao, I have one question to ask you.
Yeah.
In Vedas and in all the things, when two people too much into reading Vedas or reading too much spiritual, very high, not a little, 24 bar 7, always thinking spiritually, going spiritually, and reading too much of spiritually, but not working, okay? Not working, which they are supposed to do for bread and butter for their family. They're not doing that. The karma is not done, okay? But they are too much into spiritual, reading every time, spiritual books or maybe reading about God. All this philosopher, they meet and they keep listening and do everything. But bread and butter is not hard. And what needs to be done, security for the family, that's not done. So what do you want to say for them? I know a couple of them, they're very much into spiritual. So what do you want to say for that?
The wisdom is there, but how is presented is something that you want to understand. See, even in the Vedas, there is a ritualistic portion and there is a knowledge portion. Even Krishna tells Arjuna in the second chapter, don't be stuck on the rituals. That's very petty. But India always worshipping and doing things and all that, but not leading to the inner transformation. But in the knowledge yoga, what it is first you do the selfless service where your mind is purified, your heart is purified. That is mala is taken away, and then the mind that is vikshepa, that is completely scattered, is brought to focus. A mind that is pure and that is focused, then they can go towards the knowledge. And then all the conditioning that we have, they are kind of layers on our real inner wisdom. And mala vikshepa avarana. Avarana is the layers, the wheel that were there. So if you purify your mind with less desires and selfless work, that is the karma yoga. And then you kind of learn how to focus your mind instead of allowing it to go all over. That is the attention I'm talking about here and now. Then with that focused mind and with that pure mind, you can turn towards inquiry about what is what. See, what is the genius of yesteryear people is they went beyond living. Living can be done, but then they said human beings have this intelligence to go beyond the living only to what is life, what is death, what is birth, what is the relationship with the world. And that is very, very enlightened, understand more like the manual of the human being. It's not just the body, it's not the mind. There are tools, but our inner self is the essence that they pointed out. I think they're absolutely right about that, because if you have a lot of money, if you have a lot of comforts, if you have a lot of indulgences, that is they call bhogi, right? That's okay. It's not immoral to do that. But then all the chronic diseases, all the mental illnesses, everything that I see in America also, there's so much of suicide, so much of violence, so much of mental health problems, so many chronic diseases. Everybody's leading nothing but just existing as the vegetables. That was not there before, because they understood this is called Brahman Vidya, education about the universal self. And then they allowed them to go to householders and do the duties of households, and then come back to this in old age and really visit that, understand what is that is the real fulfillment people had. Now, this ritualistic portion is supposed to give you a focused mind, but also look that energy that you are worshipping is also within you. This is a remarkable thing, because they pointed out your divinity is in everybody, in all living beings, but you don't have to study all these things. And the other thing they said was, after you understood what the Vedas has to say, dump them, discard them, don't repeat them like a parrot. See that that has produced the transformation, and then you really be fulfilled. So it's like a tool that you can use. But you take Jiddu Krishnamurti or Ramana Maharshi, they didn't study anything, and even Eckhart Tolle. Okay, so you don't have to study these things and then study for the study and then worship the book, but not really allowing that to come into our life and then enrich our life. I am very happy I read about the ancient wisdom, because modern medicine, everything is only working on the superficialities of medicine and healing, whereas the way they approach it, everything is much, much deeper. It goes into 5 layers. The first layer is our body, second layer, energy with the breath, and third layer is our mental layer, and the fourth layer is our wisdom, understanding of the world and everything. There also the Vedas knowledge, everything comes. And then finally, that bliss layer everybody has. These 5 layers are surrounding our real essence. See, when the students went to Swamiji on the first day, they were on the monkhood, right? And they were taught about Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, all those Mahavakyas. They said, okay, teacher, you gave us this Mahavakya, Tattvamasi, I am that. How much we should repeat? And the teacher tells them that is not supposed to be repeated. That is supposed to be realized. Vedas, in essence, is the Upanishad. Upanishad essence is the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita essence is one thing is chapter 10, 20. Krishna tells, I am the beginning, middle, end of all living beings. So the divinity is within you. Like Vivekananda said, not only you realize the divinity, but you manifest it in life. That is the essence of this. But just repeating, just because you have scholarship in the doesn't do anything any good, even for that person also. So don't cling on to those words and all that. See that they are operating in the life. Then that's immensely beneficial. There's no doubt. Actually, the people who realize this self are the ones who are the healthiest, highest health. Even walking towards that, and then not really clinging onto our petty little thinking, all thinking is petty, really, then you are really having this achala, non movement of the thought, stillness of thought. Then you really touch your real self, and staying in that, you don't have any stress hormones secreting, even the situations come your way. I think that's something we can experience ourselves. This is something cannot be validated objectively. It is subjective thing. And you got to go in, you got to do the work, and you got to validate by yourself. Don't listen to anybody. You got to try it yourself. You have to go inward, and then you can do it though. That's the thing is, uh, the Western philosopher from France, who said, I think, therefore I am, did a he's a good guy. He was trying to establish something has to be anchoring for us to know. That's Descartes. He said, I think, therefore I am. No, you are conscious, therefore you are in the consciousness, thoughts are happening. Thoughts are happening to you, you are not happening to the thoughts. People miss that and they identify with their ideas, with their mindset, with all those things. No, that's only a limited step. But once you realize that by yourself, I cannot tell you about that and I say, feel like that. No, you got to feel it intuitively. Then you will say, okay, Vedas and everything else talked about profound meaning is there, but that meaning will be meaning unless it is imbibed into us and we have really exemplified in life. So just because Vedas doesn't mean that you just worship them. No, you kind of observe that, and then you go from there. And then you will see, oh yeah, this is beautiful. Actually, the bliss comes, the complete fulfillment comes when you realize that inner self. That's why they said, ancients, the purpose of a human birth is to turn the intelligence inward and see the egoic nature of all the thoughts and everything, and then transcend that and establish yourself in your true self. That is the purpose of human life. Actually, whenever my birthday comes, I remember that how fortunate I am to be born as a human being so that I can turn to the abundance that's already there and touch that. And even if you taste it, Raghava, it's wonderful. You will be in that fulfilled, complete Purnam, they called it, wholeness. So this is a very wonderful thing for us.
That's nice, Dr. Rao. Thank you so much. And yes, I see a couple of them in the speaker panel. Anybody wants to go next? Want to have a conversation on this topic? I think Ravish is unmuting. I think yes, Ravish.
Hello, good morning, all. Thank you for this opportunity to. What I am telling is this is a boon for us, I think, for all the OPN members. Thank you, Raghavendra. And heartily, I congratulate and thank you to Dr. Rao sir, which they are giving us the pulse like uh, points to the what we are facing now in the present situation. Thank you, sir. Sir, I have a question that what you suggest for the sleep time and the sleep environment?
Yeah.
According to you?
Not according to me, but there's a lot of knowledge about sleep and also a lot of understanding of the awakeness and sleep and all that, right? So combining both of them, what it is when you go to bed, first unwind your body. People used to take a couple of hours before to really relax and do that. Now we are so wired up in the work and in the life itself, you are running all the time. What you want to do is you want to unwind your body and your nervous mechanism. For that, there is this dead man's pose, which is really practiced after a good yoga session because the muscles are really tensed and all that, right? Then you practice this shavasana. It's a very simple thing. Lie down on your back, both your feet are like that, and then knees are straight, and then you're lying down on your back, and then let each muscle group contract and relax. But you do that on your record, your own voice recording the expand, but you don't say that and do that. You kind of follow some other person recording or some other person conducting it. So I can still say, okay, Ravish, lie down and close your eyes and then contract your toes. Take a deep breath as you are contracting them. As you breathing out, relax. That relax and relax and relax. You will be going on like that. Each muscle group, then ankles, then calf muscles, then knee joints, then thighs. Like that, we go from bottom to the all the way up. You can do this sitting down in the chair, and that we call it in modern medicine, adapt it as body scanning. This is so remarkable. Some people are having conscious sedation and no anesthesia that is there, but some people are having no general anesthesia and getting the operations done with this. See, but it has to be practiced all the time, though. It doesn't happen just like that. For the sleep, for example, try to cultivate sleep hygiene. That means, as much as possible, go and have an atmosphere of no disturbance in the bedroom, and use it only for sleep. Don't watch TV or any of the audio visuals. And then you kind of relax, like I told you. And also you kind of really put aside all the reactions that you went through the day, like I told you earlier, and you kind of empty your mind, and then you sleep into that, doing the same thing, having good atmosphere, and also eating proper food. Usually, you have to eat a couple of hours before you sleep, okay, so that it is all digested, and then it is a normal excretion, everything goes on. So, preparing for the sleep is one thing, and after sleep, when you wake up, how you handle your I thought, your constant thinking, don't allow. You see, right now, what is happening is basically all modern people are neurotic. That means their thought is running on its own. The same thing going on, and you are feeding it. In neuroscience, what we found, which yoga described 5,000 years ago, is the same. In the neuroscience, what they said was you can create your own brain. How? By really thinking on one thing continuously, and then you can form a pathway, right? So you could do that negatively, fearfully, or anxiety, whatever it, then those things are established in you, and then they are not gone. So that's why old people suffer all the impressions from the younger age, which is they don't want, because they never practice emptying this. Nobody told them. So they kept on thinking from the morning till into the night, and the body is exhausted, go to sleep, but the mind is never rested. That's when you have a lot of dreams. But then, if you really don't have dreams and you have a good sleep for 2 to 3 hours, that is the deep sleep, Shushupti Avastha. But then there is a consciousness that is Turiya, through the awakening, through the dream state, through the deep sleep. You got to catch that during the day also. That is the essence of spiritual teaching about the rest and sleep. But basically, when you prepare your body, prepare your mind, and deep breathe, and then slip into sleep, and you will have an excellent sleep. Especially if you have exercise, especially if you have really, put the mind to rest. Let's say move the body and keep the mind silent has to be carried out into the sleep. The more physically exhausted, the more you will be requiring natural rest and the sleep. But then the sleep, when it is completely gamma rays, liver, pancreas, all the kidneys, they are detoxified by the natural mechanism. But if you eat late and if you sleep late and you get up in the morning, that gets disturbed. So understanding all this, relax, let it go, let the body unwind. And also, if you have problems that you have to understand, there is no problem, there is no point of thinking over them all the time, right? Okay, I cannot solve this tonight. Let me take it up with a fresh mind tomorrow. That's a good practice for entrepreneurs. You have so many things, right? Don't little things get into way. You say, it is important, that I say it is important. I allow the detoxification, that is the purpose of the sleep, happen. And then when you get up, you have multiple energy. Actually, I get up with energy very well, because before taking night calls, I used to get killed for my energy. But once I understood this yogic way of sleeping, I have begun to do that, and then I saw a remarkable change. Even when I traveled to India, jet lag used to hit me, but now doesn't matter. So it is how you learn, how to relax your body first, and then mind more importantly, and do that every day, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. The basically how I'm going to get that loan tomorrow, how what I'm going to do, all that. Rest it, put it aside, because you cannot do anything in the moment at night. So rest it and go to sleep and get up in the morning. You have double the energy to think about it. But if you have to do something that night, go and do it. Don't worry about it. Like you are in the easy chair going back and forth, back and forth. You are not going anywhere. The worry, the cyclical thinking does that to you. Don't get into cyclical thinking. Either you think completely, stay with it and resolve it, or leave it. If you can practice this regular routine, sleep hygiene, and avoiding bad foods and bad drinks and all that, and then relaxing the body and the mind, and then you will get. There's a much deeper thing is not sleeping on thoughts, but sleeping on your being. That means you are aware. Awareness, you kind of slip into sleep. That is very, very restful. For me, that's what happens. So when I deep breathe, I affirm myself, I am. That's called Koham Soham. Soham means Sa Aham. Sa is the Paramatma, Aham is the individual soul. I am that. I am coming from that Paramatma, so I am that. Tattvamasi. That is all involved in that. So you affirm that you are the being. But when you breathe out, Deham Naham. Deham is in, like I told you, the 5 layers. Body is not just this physical body. Body, mind complex is the sharir, is the Deham. Naham, I am not. I am not the body or mind. I am that inner being. Sleep on that mantra and see how it does. Deham Naham. Breathe out. That's your identification with the body and mind, and breathe in what you are. You are that being. But you are so much occupied with the thoughts, they'll come back to you the next day. That's why many intellectuals caught up in the thought, not beyond the thought. That is where most of the ancients went into meditative awareness. That means awareness that is thoughtless is already meditative. And they are always established in that. That's why they don't have the problem with the thoughts. So relax, do things on time, and then body and mind successively relax, and then deep breathing and slip into the sleep. Does that help?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, anything about sleep time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, sleep time is 6 to 8 hours, younger people. But as you age, your requirement goes to 2 hours, 4 hours too. Sometimes, suppose you are in 80s, you may have only 3 hours, but that's okay. But then that should be deep sleep. So, but it naturally, kids need a lot of sleep. Youngsters need at least 6 to 8 hours. More than 8 hours and all that, the quality, that is what you want to improve. That is going down in the modern times because too much thinking. And then you think, because I'm thinking so much, I'm so smart. No, you are dumb. You don't understand the exhaustion of the energy because of that cyclical thinking. Think something, end it. Don't get caught up in the cycle. The same thoughts coming again, same thoughts coming. That is the cyclical thinking. That is really exhausting you, really information overload, overthinking, negative thinking, or just thinking only. Why are you not able to get up and walk and do the stuff? Because you are burdened with a lot of weight of the thoughts. Lighten it. Use it properly. That's an effective tool, very important tool. But very few people know how to manage that. Okay, you can sleep 4 to 6 hours at least, 30, 40 years old, Ravish. But the quality is important. Remember that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Prasad. How are you?
sometimes, we have heard, where sleep, sound sleep is important, and that too, you need to be in a sleeping state at
Yeah,
10 to 2. When this is the time, when you're a sleeping state of 10 to 2, your body
yeah.
mechanism
It's actually
is
11 to 2. 11 to 2.
automatically all the issues what you have.
Yeah,
So
11 to
11 to
2.
2.
11 to 2. Very
Yeah.
important. Very
So
important.
the body mechanism is such a way, it fixes everything. What are the
Yeah,
issues you have? You may be having some issues with your health, or maybe
yeah.
your tissue issues, or maybe you have some stress, or maybe you have liver problem, or whatever organ problem you have knee pain or whatever. So this is
So
fixing
remember,
automatically.
remember,
You need to have
thoughts drive this physiological process. So you want to really have a hold of the thoughts, then body will do its function. But if you are overthinking, you are taking the thoughts to the sleep, then you are interfering with the natural detoxifying functions of the liver and kidneys and all that. That's where metabolic healing power that we have gets impaired by our excessive neurotic activity. But you are in silence, things flow much better. That's why move the body, but keep the mind quiet. What do we do? Reverse. Sit in the chair, not moving the body, engaging the mind with the TV, entertainment. Actually, I wrote an article on entertainment versus enlightenment. What's the need for that? Because in enlightenment, you kind of turn your outward going mind and senses inward and find out your egoic nature of thoughts and feelings and all that, and then you calm them down. Thereby, you have the stillness of the mind. In that stillness, healing happens much more. Mind is not influencing the organs that much as it is quiet. So this is a deeper physiological fact is there is a relaxation response in our mind that can be generated by staying with one thought. There is a Herbert Benson. He's a Harvard cardiologist, and he wrote a book called Relaxation Response. I would recommend that you all go and take it and read. This is based on mantra yoga. In mantra yoga, dhyayate mananam mantra is the mantra. You are really focusing on one word and staying with the one word such a way mind doesn't have the chance to escape into different thoughts. And then in that focused chanting of the mantra, you kind of allow the mind to be absorbed into the mantra, and that is the one which gives you the stillness, and that is the natural thing, and then mind will do its work. See, mind has a huge function, but mind also has a tremendous healing power. Most of the problems we have are because we don't understand the mind properly, and we engage the mind all the time to the point of exhaustion. This is what I see with the burnout and stressed out people. They have money, they have status, they have everything, but they never took care of them. My mind are their impressions and all. They think just because they think all the time they are clever. They're not, because they're allowing the very valuable thing go out of whack. See, when I came to this country, it is that when I was introduced to J. Krishnamurti, right? And he was talking of ending of thought. That confused me like anything. What is this? We were told to think deep, we were told to think very well, and we were told to use the time. Yeah, for the practical purpose. That in Sanskrit is called Vignan, knowledge about best practices outward, water supply, electricity, whatever you do, right? But then knowing about your inner self is gnana. That's where the ancients really had a simple outward life and very rich inner life. Now it is reverse. You got to have so many different things for the external life, but you hardly have time or occasion to really sit down and turn inward, reflect, understand yourself, understand your impulses. Just because you have few things, you think you're a big deal. Just because you have few thoughts, you'll be a big deal. That's all wrong perspective for a human being, because human being has the capacity of the memory and imagination, but he can be overcome the instinct versus the animals. So he can turn that memory into wisdom. He can do that imagination properly so that he can plan things. But if you are worried about things that happened in the past or really lamenting them, then you are going wrong use of the memory. That intelligence that is needed to use memory properly, information is information. What is the insight from the information you want to retain? Not all the information. Just because you know so many facts doesn't mean you are smart, but you have insights into situations and can lead other people also out of danger. That is wisdom. Like that, you kind of brainstorm, plan everything. But then, when you are executing the plan, focus on the process, not on the results, not on the so-called profits. This is all came from the West. Ego and the profits came from the West, and our people did not have that. That's why at the time they had the highest growth product. That's all gone mainly because Indians also aping Western style, where they said, "I think I am." Now they regret it. Why did he say that, and why did we stuck with it? And entire Western culture is caught up with that thinking, not proper, reliable, really considerate thinking. It's more like allowing it to. Some people saying, "Oh, things are coming at me." I'm not thinking, they are coming at me. No, you had the impressions, you allowed them, and then they go and take step. Neuroplasticity is now showing you you can change your conditioning. For example, I had a stroke in 2014, but I already trained to be in the present. So after the stroke, complete paralysis of the left side, but I got it back within a month because I knew the neuroplasticity. I knew how to employ that by staying in the present, not regretting that happened, not forecasting something terrible to happen, but what can I do here and now, this moment? And I began to instruct the peripherals of visualization first and then start moving it. And in a very short time, I was able to get it back. Of course, I have used the modern thing also, but still I developed the what we call dense paralysis. That means they're completely that means they're numb. They're going like that. There's no movement. But this all came out, and now I turned better for the wellness. And even though I had it, I was not a smoker. I was not having any disease, but I have inherited blood vessels from my dad. Probably he had 3 strokes, and those are abnormal vessels that went into the small stroke. But then the paralysis was there. See, now I'm teaching people how to be fit, how to be well. Maybe that was the reason why I had that. But at the time, I was focused. 3 things I did: micro yoga for each part of the body, deep breathing, and third is living in the present moment. So that is same thing you should do. We do because I could not have done that if I had not known that present moment thing before. But right now, you examine yourself. Am I here and now? Am I think maybe in a crisis I'm like that? But otherwise, I'm always bringing, oh, I know these things, I have experience, I'm going to bring it. Oh, I know these things I read in the books, Vedas or whatever. That's not really wisdom. Wisdom is from the information, the insights are accumulated and then made work for you in regular life. Most of the people who are helping other people, they don't know how to help themselves. I call them, the helpless trying to help the other people. But if you really understand what to really absorb and bring it to the present moment, like every day I live, there's a fresh day. I told you so many times, I come with a beginner's mind. Then I can learn from anybody saying anything else that I never heard or kind of. I don't accept anybody's words just like that. I listen to it, Then I go and do what's called mananam, reflection, and examining it, researching it, and then applying it in my life. I tell the same people also, don't trust me, don't just believe whatever I say. You first listen, take it, then go and reflect on it. If you have doubts, express it, questions, you do it. For all of that, then you are presented with the proof of the truth. But make sure the truth is applied. That's called nididhyasana. Shravanam is listening, mananam is reflecting and questioning, doubting. Nididhyasana is allowing that to happen in our life.
Very true, Dr. Rao. And also, good sound sleep can definitely activate all the 10 cells. So that also has been said. And anybody wants to have a conversation on this topic, and you want to put in some light, feel free. And you want to have a conversation on, let us have some good brainstorming. I see Prasad and Edward unmuting. So Prasad, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Raghav and team, for hosting this wonderful session. I appreciate the leadership here, especially for inviting Dr. Rao. Dr. Rao, as usual, you're giving very great insights on how we do our modern living with yogic lifestyle. I have a question here. I'm wondering about the link between the nature actually in living in concert with the nature and yoga and our lifestyle, etc. Could you please shed some light on this?
Yeah. I always tell people my two important things for my life are wellness in all its aspects. Second thing is planet. See, if you look at the relationship of the nature with our, Esther people, they were more in tune. Even in American Indians here, they consider themselves part of the nature, and they had a simple life. So they treated nature as the mother, so they wanted to protect it, and then they also really want to consume as little as possible. That is a simple life. Now, reverse. We are thinking nature is there for our consumption, rampant consumption, consumerism. All the entrepreneurs here, you can see that rampant consumer, and that is the one which landed us in this trouble. Everybody knows about that. Our air is polluted, our waters are polluted. So, if you can return back to minimalism, which some people are doing, if you return back to responsible use of recycling and then rekindling, re-nurturing the nature, is the responsible thing we should do for our mother. I take it pretty serious. Why can't we live with few clothes rather than number of clothes? See, this is perpetuated by this profit motivation, by using stuff just for ourselves, the greedy, right? There is a description of a word called trishna. So they rake up this psychological hunger, psychological greed by saying, "Oh, you cannot be happy unless you have all these outward things." But your happiness is within you. That reflects in the small pleasures also. They describe this like this: a dog chewing on the bone, it tastes its own blood and thinks that is coming from the bone. And then it takes the bone away and then puts it there because it thinks that is coming. The same thing human beings are doing too. We have the ananda, sat chit ananda. That's a state we are capable of touching it, but our mind is going too fast. That's why you cannot do that. But then once you understand that is all there, you will be coming with abundance, not asking so many things from outside. That if you can become responsible consumers, really decrease that. The yogic lifestyle gives you that. Eat only when you're hungry, and eat only the fruits and vegetables and all that can be recycled, regrowth, and all that. Don't kill the animals and all of that because that requires so much more water and all that. And also, really work. physically, then you don't have to produce so much of vehicles and all of that. Even if you have vehicles, you can be responsible about them. You don't have to be political about the aisles. We go to a drill, baby, drill. That shows the shallowness, the understanding about the earth, and then what is our role as custodians of the earth, Mother Earth. The nature association is very important too, because once you understand Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the entire world is one. Actually, I was telling this morning, Doug, my heart is with India, but I'm actually a global citizen. But I kind of got my medicine degree in India, and they spend money on me, the government there. But I spent a lot of money back there. But still, they are responsible for me, even though I got the merit and all that. But still, I got the education, I got the values, and then the highest thing that I consider is Brahma Vidya Pradayani Bharat. And they taught about how the rivers are mothers, how the forests are really sustaining us, how the animals are our brothers. So we come back to that philosophy, Prasad. We understand what is to be inwardly satisfied content, so that we don't have to so much of rampant consumerism. Then we will help even now we all have to leave the carbon print. But how many people are really aware that the world is at the extinction level? What is this madness? Drill, drill, drill. And so you see, China, what they did with the electrical vehicles and electrical power and all that, they have the peaking where there used to be completely cloudy with pollution. Now they could not see blue sky, but now they could see the blue sky. It can be reversed with the technology. It can be. We have to be responsible. If you just think, oh, I want to make my living, I want to live with my family, then you are being very, very irresponsible about earth. If you are encouraging a lot of consumption of everything just to make few bucks, you are being very irresponsible about the earth. So understand the consumerism, understand where it is responsible, where it is not. It's like this: you are going in the airplane and there is a hole in the back. First class people are not going to be protected. Everybody will go down. That's what's happening with this. All this industrial country is polluted, and now the poor countries are really suffering because they cannot even do it by themselves. These people are supposed to help them. They promise every time 80 billion, something like that, and they don't fulfill that. Bangladesh on the verge of going into the sea. So many areas in the world are having toxic weather. Even now, people are not waking up. I consider this lack of simple life, rampant consumerism, complete unawareness of where it is going, and what is the status right now of the earth. Is the edge of extinction. That's not exaggeration. That's really true. The toxic weather, look at that. How many fires, how many earthquakes, how many floods that are happening all over. That is my answer, Prasad. Let us be responsible consumers, recycle things, and also really help all the. Prasad works with the environment. He's an eco-friendly person. He has been doing a lot of work with that. And I go to those rooms and then listen to them and see what they are doing, and also try to contribute whatever I can. I think that's my responsibility.
That's wonderful. So nice to know you, Prasad, and I hope you got your answer. So, Edward, you want to go next? You want to talk about it?
Yeah. Yes, Raghavendra.
Thank you so much.
Doctor, thanks for that wonderful, knowledgeable sessions you have been giving. Saturday, when I spoke to you about, how do I, as a teamwork, how do I come out of my pressure? And you told me about the process. And really, doctor, after I spoke to you that day, I'm feeling so light now. And I've started. And not only just listen to you, I've already started the process. And I feel very much confident that yes,
things may not go wrong if all the process is right. So, excellent, doctor. You're a sweet 17, not 70. So, we are so happy and glad that you're part of our family and you have been so helpful and you have been giving us so much of directions. We always look upon you for all the suggestions and directions, doctor. And we are so happy for this wonderful session what you're given. The strong AAV is it's set in our mind very strongly. Doctor, what I wanted from your end is, now you told about the sleep. You can sleep at 11 and get up by 2 or 3. So that is one part. Now after that, I just wanted to know, like, if I want to do a deep, first should I do a meditation or should I do a deep breath? You could just break it. For example, you can do a breathing exercise for 15 minutes and then you do the meditation. Like that, you could just give us the start of the day.
Yeah.
It'll be more helpful, doctor.
Yeah, because breath is connected to the mental activity. Meditation is needed for the mind, but your real inner self does not need meditation. So, what you want to do is you want to combine the mental activity with the breathing. So, what it is you are deep breathing. This is called vipassana, very basic thing. You bring your attention to the sense of the air coming in and out of the nose. Stay there. That means you are not, if you have some other thought coming in, bring your attention back to the breath. That's how you begin. Okay. And then as the thoughts really go all over because you are unaware of it, you bring back your awareness to it. Like a patient I see. Immediately I kind of go all over. Okay, yesterday that happened, tomorrow this happened. Then I'm not with him. I am not in the present. That any activity you do, you just be present. That itself meditation. That means you are not allowing the thoughts go all over, thinking rather stupidly. The more I think, the better I get. No, the more effectively you think, the more effectively you manage the mind to be here, the more focused you are, the more attentive you are, the more quality of work happens. Otherwise, mind takes it on its own. That is where the neuronal paths are. You are thinking something unconscious, and that happens and goes, happens and goes. It doesn't just go like that. It leaves the impression like a paved highway on your cortical matter. And those are called samskaras in Sanskrit. Here we call it ingrained thoughts. These thoughts are ingrained by their own repetition unconsciously. But if you are following that thought and end it, because that is done, because you are paying the same attention to the next one, not bringing the what you already had into it. That is where the real conscious effort is. So what you do is get up, Edward, sit down, take deep breaths. As you take the deep breath, bring your attention to the nose, to the touch of the breath, right? And then there are variations of breath you can do. And then if the thoughts come, don't suppress them, don't blame them, or don't indulge in them, but treat them as objects. And then bring your attention. That is where the consciousness comes. Consciously back to the nose. And this is kind of repeated for a few days, few weeks. Then you will see that thoughts are not going away. Whatever you want to think about, like there's a building, they want you to fix it. You have to employ the knowledge about it, your experience about it, and bring it. But then don't think something else when you are doing that building. Like I do with my patients, you do that with each thing that you do. And the process, whatever process you are doing, complete attention. That's why wake up in awareness, live in attention through the day, and vacate the mind at the last before you go to sleep. So this is a good practice to get up in the morning, sit at the bed. The important thing is keep the spine straight, neck straight, and then close your eyes if you want to, if you need to, and then take deep breaths. Another way to really effectively make this is take deep breath and then hold the breath. That's called kumbhaka. First start with 10 seconds. If you can hold up to 144, that's very good, but it's very difficult to do that. So what you do is 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and stay there, and then breathe out, and then hold that too. That kumbhaka makes a lot more difference to silence the mind and also to improve your absorption of oxygen into the lungs, alveolar surface, and that's a very good thing too. To rapidly progress, you do before breaths like that. Hold it for a while and leave it, maybe 10 seconds. Then, as you improve your deeper breathing, that itself nurtures the stability of the mind. And that return to where all the see the steps in concentration of thought and meditation is vikshepa. That means thoughts are going all over. You bring them back to. That's why you can see Jesus, or you can see Hindus is Vishnu, whatever for them, to get their mind not going anywhere, to bring it back to what it is. These tools are used: puja, mantra, japa, all those things. You don't have to do all that. All you have to do is focus on the breath and hold it once in a while, and then do that few, maybe 10 breaths. That's good enough. And then, as you are working, first initiate yourself to be concentrating on whatever you are doing, right? And then slow the thoughts into one thought. These are after months and weeks of practice. I'm just rushing it from concentration to slowing the thought. From the slowing thought, one thought, and staying with one thought. And then ultimately going beyond the thought and discovering a whole new world. Once you discover that, you don't need meditation. You will be in the meditative awareness. I don't do regular meditation like this. I'm always living that awareness, and that is meditative for me because my thoughts don't run all over. And then anybody can do this. That's the point. You don't have to leave the house, leave the job, and everything. All you have to understand is the mechanics. So there is something like a staying in your being. Then you don't need any meditation. And then using the thought consciously. So start with the breathing, start with slowing the thoughts down, and also don't let all the things center to you. What is your passion? What is your purpose? Focus all the energy on that. Rest of it, don't have to work that much. Then the purpose is clear. Your life energy is focused on what you want to do, and your work is your passion. You want to help people by fixing building. That is noble. That is what you are helping to live them better life. That is the service. And you focus on that. Everything else comes. They will be resolved once you are centered in your inward being. Then you don't need a meditation now. But up until then, like I said, mala, vikshepa, avarana. Remember those three words, you will understand everything about meditation. Mala. If you have too many desires, if you have too many things going on in your mind, that is dirty. Okay? And then that one you want to clear it by doing whatever you do selflessly. Even if it takes a compass, that's not a problem. It is like not thinking about other people's problems, that is selfishness, right? And then vikshepa is this spread out thoughts. Now, what do you think? Multitasking, thinking so many things, that is the problem with the information age. I'm an informatician, I'm about information scientifically. Bringing all the facts into your mind is not the thing. Bringing the insight of 1,000 facts and then implementing that. Not storing this data in our mind, but lightening our mind, but using the data for our purposes. Right? You don't want to have all the maps of all the buildings you have in your mind. You want to attend to them when there is needed. Use the data of that, what is the layout, how many meters and all that. And after that, empty that. That mechanism should be there. For me, it happens moment to moment because I was schooled and educated very early about that. And then I was very sincere about it. I didn't want to wait for other people, everybody. I was very sincere about it because I was given the taste of the silence of the mind. 80s, I came in, I was reading Krishnamurti's book and something like that, and I was listening to his videotape. Something triggered on me, and if I read one talk about him, from morning till evening, even though I'm working a lot, I experienced the silence of the mind. Then I understood the mechanics. Then I understood what is the science behind it and everything. Then I lived it. Then once you taste that silence, you don't go for the chatter. Is that answerable to you, Edward, or is it?
Yes, doctor. Very much. Thanks a ton for giving us such a wisdom and knowledge on the subject. Yes, we will definitely follow it up, doctor.
Yeah.
Today's my takeaway from you was the purpose.
Yeah.
And
I plan to do a talk on flow. How can entrepreneurs be in flow? I think that will be very useful for you guys, and I will.
Yes, doctor.
Maybe
yes,
next.
that will be great.
Yeah,
probably you can take one session on Saturday, doctor. That will connect to our sales and marketing.
Yeah,
subject.
sure, no problem.
Yeah. Right. Thank you very much, doctor.
Sure.
I can see our moderators are very keen on supporting people, like, with the great information and the valid points. So they know, whom to give an opportunity for be a speaker. So Edward is very keen on, sales and marketing and where needs to be delivered. So Dr. Rao has been a physician, he's been into logistics, where he was been training all the departments, with a lot of techniques which needs to be maintained as an entrepreneurial journey and all this stuff. Even as an employee, what needs to be done. So definitely, Dr. Rao can put in a lot of values for sure. So
there is something else going on, Raghava. I think you should know. I kind of put it after the Women's Day. I established a group of empowering entrepreneurs on the WhatsApp, and I'm coming on the morning. My time is 7. Yours is 5:30 p.m. probably every day, and then I'm taking up one subject at a time and then talking about it for the entrepreneurs. How can we empower them? One of them is this flow. Can you be in the flow and conserve all your energy and enjoy your work and come home really refreshed? That is what happens in flow. There is a book I recommended the other day. Michael, I don't remember his Russian name, but he wrote the book called Flow, Flow. And then in that, he compares Patanjali Yoga Sutra's concentration, attention, and all that, which I also teach Patanjali Yoga Sutras at length. That one is the best system he has read in all over the world, and I agree with him. Not because it is from India, but because the value of it. I work so much, but I'm always in flow because of that. My Patanjali Yoga Sutra. And that is saving me a ton of energy. People come and ask me, are you a freak? How come you have so much energy at the end of the day? Because I don't deplete the energy with multitasking or with thinking too much. Think appropriately, but end the thought when it is not needed. Practical stuff, thinking is needed. But psychological stuff, no. You got to be intuitive about things. Sharmi, how are you? She has come. That's why I have to greet her.
Um, Thank you. Good morning, Doctor. It was, as usual, very insightful session. My questions are, I think, I got some answers for my questions. Still, I will post it here. Including myself and even the friends that I meet sometimes seem to have, we seem to experience lost sometimes. And is it because we don't have an anchor in life, or is it because we miss the purpose in life, or is it really the purpose that drives us? why do we feel this way? How do we overcome? Sorry, it's a big lengthy one. I was even thinking, is it is it
No,
too
no,
much to ask here?
no, it's the
Yeah.
reality. It's the reality because ancient described it as a dharma, artha, kama, moksha. There are four ways people go about it. Um, whatever you do, it has to be done in a dharmic way. That means this is affecting beneficially to most people, animals, and all that. That is dharma way. You can do artha. That means you can make money and develop wealth and all that. That's okay, but you have to do it in a dharmic way, in non-violent, in a righteous way. But after a certain time of making the money and all that, you feel like you are not fulfilled. That's the problem with it. Many people, millionaires I see, they have no meaning after the money has come. That's the reality. So that is the anybody you can strive for livelihood, eating basic needs and all that. But then a lot of people think if I have a lot of money, I have security. There is nothing like that. And also the fulfillment will not there. The same thing with the desires. Normal human desires are okay, but if you let them loose, let the horses go all over, the chariot will go all over like that. Okay. And also, even if you have so much desires fulfilled, you still feel like you are not fulfilled. That's a fact. Everybody experiences that too. And now there is the fourth way they talked about. That is moksha. Moksha is not there somewhere you go to the heaven. Moksha is when you have relief from your own mind. See, that is where we let it go all over. And once you calm your mind, you will discover your real inner self, which is very fulfilling. Purna. They talked about Purnamadam, Purnamidam. That which created us is the Purnam. And from that we came also as Purnam. Even if you separate the Purnam from us, we will be there. That enriching, satisfying, complete sense of ourself is the wholeness is there. Unfortunately, modern people are not in touch with that. That's why, like I told you, Sharmi, the sea, water comes up, clouds, goes into the forming the rivers, and the rivers come and join the deep, silent sea. But the superficial sea is turbulent. Like that, our mind makes us very turbulent, not able to touch the inner silence. But once you calm that down and you touch the inner silence, you are always in that fulfilled silence, Purna. Because people don't have the purpose. That's why they said purpose of human life is to turn inward and realize who we really are. Atma Sakshatam. Right? So once you do that, then they said, go and work for the welfare of the world. Jagat Hitaya. So all this modern life is, we don't have to say, but people found out having this lust for all the luxuries, comforts, and all of that, or gathering material things and everything, that's all illusory. But people discover by themselves. If you say that, they will get angry. But if the politics or divisions are all because of these external things. But everybody can be simple outwardly, very rich inwardly. That is not there. That inner poverty shows up in all areas of life.
Yeah, I totally agree, Doctor. It is essential that that we take that morning few hours for ourselves and evening few hours for ourselves to get into to be in the journey of this self-discovery, self-realization, because that is what has been missing. We just get in life, wake up and just get into the routine, forget about.
You see, that is the tragedy. Our ancients were really clearly, they are very evolved people. They showed the path to real peace and happiness and all that. Okay. But then we are kind of left that. You see, I came to know the ancient wisdom after I came to this country, because I took interest in that. I went and studied it. I didn't want to approach it just because, oh, I am unhappy and do this. I wanted to understand what was the so great about that. What was the beyond thought? If you listen to Krishnamurti, he talks about what is sacred. Perceive what is in front of you. Don't bring your mind and then go in the past and all that. But what is to perceive, you have to have tranquility of mind. But otherwise, you come say, "Oh, I know this, I am knowledgeable," and all that. You can never see what is presented to you. Come with a beginner's mind. That means everything is washed off and you are ready to receive. Your vessel is empty. That is, they call jignasa, inquiry, deep inquiry for what is life, why we are miserable, what is making us like this. And then you will discover, oh, human being means this inner essence, inner abundance is there. So we are so poor because we are running after things that do not matter. There is a Sanskrit saying, when you do this real study and understand of this ancient wisdom, I'm not talking about just having a scholarly thing, no. But if you understand and living that wisdom, then they said, praptasya prapti, nivritasya nivritti. What you are, you will get. What you are not, you will lose. You think you are body and mind, you are really not that. You will lose them sometime or other. But what you are is that eternal inner self. You will get it, you will get in touch with it again, you will stay with it. That is the struggle for the modern times.
Sir, having said it very easily, to be very honest, I'm sure it is going to take us some time. At least for me, I'm being very honest. For putting it into practice,
Yeah.
It is again a journey.
No, it's like a
I would really recommend.
Yeah, journey for
that,
everybody. Journey for everybody.
Yeah. I would really recommend that you repeat this session at least once for a month. The same thing can be repeated so that it's kind of a reaffirmation for us, and
Ramesh and Raghava.
want to be there.
Ramesh and Raghava will drive me away if I do it every month.
I think we all agree that we need this kind of an inner transformation, despite all the external information that is available. What is at the end of the day missing?
Sharmi, how many times you talked to me in the last few days?
Yeah, it has been almost 4-5 days. Still, I seem to be, missing out something. That is why I'm realizing that it is the continuity is also because the mind is so much layered.
I know, but then it's a question of
every time a little.
No, listen, it is a question of your interest. Everybody's interest, and then we have to respect them on their own journey. Okay, I am here. I talk to every time I get a chance, but I'm also a fellow seeker like you, right? So this is a journey we're taking. That's why I put that satsang in the morning, and people come say, Raghav, what I did was I talked to my sister every day in the morning. Now I included OBN people also. They can come. That's where Sharmi is also coming. So it's all a question of your interest. Then, no, the wisdom, knowledge is there. It's not one person's thing. I am learning. You are also learning. We have different journeys. That's fine. But then, this is not about information, Sharmi. It's about your own inner interest, what you want to learn.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Doctor, for all the information, for all the guidance, I would say. Yes.
Nice to see you, Sharmi, here in the speaker panel. So, yeah, once Sharmi has taken a session on menopause, that was a wonderful session, and we'll be expecting you more. What is menopause or something like that. So, definitely you can get in touch with Ramesh Narayan, and it will be really great. And a very nice conversation, and I'm very happy that you're in touch with Dr. Rao. And I also saw a video testimonial for Dr. Rao from Sharmi that was really amazing. I saw that video which was put in the WhatsApp group by Sharmi itself. That was really made me very happy. And I'm sure, that video which has been sent to the group, directly to the open group, and that is our appreciation, what I could say. And this is really great. We need blessings from Dr. Rao, as he's our mentor for the Open Business Networking, and I proudly say that. Thank you so much, Dr. Rao, for that wonderful conversation. And yes, who wants to go next? Who wants to have some conversation with Dr. Rao, or maybe you want to put in some light onto this topic? I think Vedan Sri, yes, Vedan sir, please go ahead.
Very good morning, Obi, and good morning, Dr. Rao and everyone here, Ramesh. It was a session full day I could attend today because I could complete my regular routines in the early morning today from Amurtha, so I could spend really full time with sir. That was a wonderful session. So many times you hear that from Rao sir, it looks like something new to me. Always the boost is always happening. And Rao sir, I need a small help from you. Just with everyone takes a paper and pen and take 3 points from today's session where you can just revamp it. 3 points, let them start from today. If you want to place something at 3 points, at least to start today, because it's like a big bang theory for most of the people.
Sure.
So suddenly going and transition is very difficult. So 3 points, please.
First word, inward. Go inward for all answers. Okay? Inward. Awareness versus thought. Don't be in thought, but use thought, be in awareness. Okay? And third one is present movement. Be in the presence. Inward, awareness, and present. Be present in life. Live life as it is in the present. Use knowledge from the past. Use planning. But then when you do life, life is here and now. Turn inward, find out who you are. Be aware of everything that's going on and be living in the present, because that is life. Each one can be expanded into several hours discussion. Why do you go outward? Why cannot go inward? Because our senses go outward and we depend on them. Our intellect goes outward. That's why we think it's natural to go outward for the inner problems. Right? And then why we are not aware, because we are too much thinking. We think thinking will solve everything. It is not. And then we never live in the present moment, which is the life actually. We live in our head, either past or future, and that we think our world. So miss presence all the time.
So I agree with you, doctor. Too much thinking. We also had a session beautifully overthinking on Sunday. It was a very long session, but it was a beautiful discussion we had. That was amazing. You think somewhere a smallest technique can allow us to, at least per day morning, I start with small technique or small practice that can take care of these 3 points, doctor. Anything is there very simple?
Breathing. Breathing happens in the present. Breathing has to be, you should be aware to really have deep breathing. It can be unconscious or conscious. You can be conscious. And also, when you take the breath, don't take the air only. You are taking the prana. That is the life force. Be aware of that life force and revere it. Then you will get much more energy because of that reverence. So breathing ties all the 3.
Okay. What is the minimum time of practice, doctor?
All the time, as much as possible.
Good. That sounds
good. I'll give you a practical template. Get up in the morning. First thing you do that deep breathing. Okay, 10 breaths. Then, if you cannot do all the time, every 1 hour, 1 minute. Okay? Remember that and do that. That becomes like a reminder for you on all these things. What it is when you deep breathe, you come to the presence. And in the morning, right after you wake up, what he said, don't get in the thought circle, thought race one, but just be that. Okay. And then as the day goes by, every 1 hour, that 1 minute not just for the breathing, but bringing you back to the presence. Other way you can do it is, which I do, is you are talking, right, Vedan, and I am listening to you. I take deep breaths at the time. Not many, 3 or 4, that's good enough. So that way I am always deep breathing. This is something recommended by B.K. Iyengar. He's a yoga master, right? And he said when he came to America, he found these people hardly breathing. And that is very true. But if you can breathe very deeply, what happens is the diaphragm going down, there are so much of potential alveolar space that opens up. Normally, shallow breathing, your chest is not going down that much, it's just like that. Then the lot of lung area that has this is sponge like thing, right? Once it goes down, so many alveolar vessels open and then blood goes there, then they form as respiratory syncytial unit where alveolar surface acts where oxygen goes in, carbon dioxide comes out, and also deep breathing out gets all the carbon dioxide out, and then it gives more space to breathe in. That is the advantage of breathing. And also, this breathing has a reflexive connection with the thought formation, thought rapidity, more than formation, rapidity, how quickly they go. They slow down. This is where I'm saying modern medicine plus ancient wisdom. They knew a lot of things with their meditative awareness, but we have to show the evidence for that. That is stupid sometimes because some are subjective. You can feel, you can realize, but you cannot see physical. They talked about pranayama, prana dividing into 5 different energies to understand each system. They're wonderful. If you, I think I should take a class on that too because pranayama is so important and explaining all the energies, where everything goes, how we abuse and all that. But in the morning if you do something with it, and then in the evening again have a formal session, right? There is Bastrika, there is Kapalabhati, there is Agnisara, Anlom Vilom, Brahmari, Udgit, then Shitkari, Shitali. So many types are there. I do them all. Once you get to know, my favorite is Brahmari, which is very good. Each one has its own physiological effects, each one has its own curative effect on some diseases and all that. But for practical purposes, get up in the morning. First thing, always remember about getting into the present by deep breathing 10 times. Then from then onwards, have some schedule where you are going to have a formal learning from a yoga teacher, and then you practice that because your cognitive the skeleton structure of the chest and the capacity, there's so many variations are there, but once you get your own routine, then you can say this abhikaro abhipao. You do the breathing exercises and get the benefits right away. Okay, so after that, at the end of your work, sit down and do the formal breathing again. And then before you go to bed, do the deep breathing, calm your mind down, and sleep. This is a simple platform. In the morning, at the end of the day, between whatever is possible for you.
Vedan Sri is a kind of a person, okay, where he used to hold his breath for 12 minutes, and now he's reduced to 7 or 8 minutes, I guess. And Vedan Sri is a guru, like who is healing thousands of people with a disease or issues or mental health, or maybe with the health issues what they're going through. And he's also great legendary person who is also training hundreds of people with Varmam activities, which is a scientific kala, which is helping a lot of people and spreading this
scientific medical, the scientific medical health treating skill, which is called as Varmam. And it's a very big academy, and he's been going through all over the world, and he's been spreading this Varmam. And he has a Varmam Academy.com, which is a website, and where people should definitely visit, and you should know about Varpit and Sri. And I
No,
really
all these are
very
all
Dr.
these
Rao,
all
when
these
someone is asking
no,
all these questions like a common man, and
no,
that is really amazing. I really bow down to you, Vedam Sri. You are grounded. You are amazing. You are a legend. You ask all these questions not for you, for the people, for
no,
people to get
not
better.
only that,
You are
Raghav, not
yeah.
only that. You see, all these mind body awareness practices have got to do with the breathing, and you may have a technique that's good, yogic breathing or jalastamba in the water and then varmam. All these are based on that prana. Okay, so his questions for the even for other people, for him, they are the same. How do you start something that you are not used to, that is so complicated, you will be driven away. But if you give them a simple thing that they can do in the morning and in the evening, I get the what he's talking about. I know he is a Burma specialist, and I understand what he is doing too. And I have seen the effect of them by myself. And they say Nadi Pravina, that is also something about controlling this prana in our nadis. Nadis are, I do Om divided into three things. A, U, Ma. A activates the nadis in the abdomen, U activates in the chest, and Ma in the neck. So what it is that energy that is manipulated by Nadi Pravina, they know where the blocks are. The same thing with the Varma. So many martial arts are developed from that. But the basic thing was about the yoga with the mixing of the Atma to Paramatma, and the energy is also divine force. Once that is gone, your life is gone. So it is connected with that. But our ancients had different things, Kalari, Marma, so many things they have developed, and the people like Vedan experienced that and then expertise that and then providing services to the people. I know about it, but then I still answered the question not for him personally. He may need it, he may not need it. But generally, the question is asked, we are going to answer like that.
Yeah, definitely. Even a teacher needs a teacher, and the coach needs a coach. Mentor needs a mentor. That is how we need to look into things. I really respect that, Dr. Rao. And Vedant, would you like to add some values for this yogic lifestyle for 2 minutes, with Varmam? Can you please go ahead, please, for 2 minutes?
Uh, Thank you, Raghav, and thanks, Rao sir. Actually, most of the people can't find a right path because they know where to start. So that's the most important question for everyone's mind, that where to start. And you are really explained very simple and beautiful. Possibly before I say something, I have one more request to you, Dr. Sir. If you could put that every 1 hour, you think like at least a minute of breathe you concentrate. If you can do a guided, voice recording and share in the group, people anywhere at any time, at least they can play it and close their eyes, listening to your beautiful voice of instruction, and really, really helps. If possible.
Let's do this right now. Raghava, you also do this. Okay, everybody do this. Sit in the chair with your back straight. Don't lean onto the back support. Keep your both feet clutching the ground, toes, soles, and the heels. And keep your hands lightly on the knees. And keep your neck straight. Close your eyes. Now close your mouth. I will be talking, but you can close your mouth and take deep breath as though you're sucking from the level of the abdomen. Like you put your both hands. Breathe in, breathe in, breathe in all the way. Now hold it for a few seconds. And now breathe out as the abdominal wall goes in. You can count 7, 4, 8, or whatever count you can do. But basically, straight posture, deep breathing, abdominal wall raising as you take the deep breath. The diaphragm comes down and abdominal wall going towards the spine when you breathe out. Okay, I will sound it one breath, then you can understand. If you can do that quality breath 4 or 5 times in a minute, that's good enough. Posture, movement of the abdominal wall, and really having the deep breath for so many counts. Usually, the exhalation will be longer than the inhalation. Okay?
Okay, doctor. Yeah, thank you. And I can add little to it, like with the permission of Dr. Rao. Like,
Sure.
if you cannot really just concentrate on number you want to say, you can add very simple is that you can inhale with a sound, add it to it. It will be much more easy to keep your breath, concentrating on the breath is so. Siddha Rishi system of India. It's a so is the inhale and is the exhale. Don't say it loudly. Feel like the sound inside is creating. When you inhale, feel the sound of so. The inhale is creating the sound of so, and exhale. Okay. Some people think this is more connected to some spiritual another thing. Like Islamic people, you can also say Allah Akbar. You will get the same sound. Don't mistake me. You will get a beautiful sound. If you could do that, Allah, inhale and Akbar is an exhale. And Christian people clearly say this. Exhale will be mean beautifully. It sings. You see that? You close your eyes and try it yourself. If you create that sound with your breath, it will allow you to keep sensibly on your breath. Your mind will be with the sound, and sound will connect to the breath. And it really helps you to be in the three things, being inward and aware in the presence. As the doctor said, like you will be there for some time. Will really help you and not deviating from it. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
No, even the Soham Vedan, that has the meaning, because the sound of the air going in, it makes the so. You don't have to say it, it does the sound itself. That's significant, that's an effective way to do it. But it also has the spiritual meaning of so means the Paramatma. You are inhaling him, that you are letting the revered air, that is the prana, you are inviting in. Aham, you are letting it go. I kind of use these meanings because it makes much more sense to the so-called educated people who are intellectuals and all, because their mind is always looking for answers and all that. They make it much more. But actually, I thought that was great. They said just use soham, But I use the soham in koham, soham, when you take the deep breath in. But when you breathe out, you say deham, naham. I'm not the body or mind. When you breathe out, that association, the identification, but I want to assert, inhale, I want to affirm who I am. Koham means who am I? Soham is I am from that Paramatma. I am that. Tattvamasi. Whereas Deham, Naham. Actually, I do this at the end of my morning routine every day. 10 breaths, I make them do that, and they say this mantra also.
That's beautiful, Lodi. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's it, Ravindra. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And yes, I've been practicing that, Dr. Rao. Like, I don't sound like, very loud soham or something like that. It's a something like, it's a naturally like you breathe, and that sound, which is very mild, which you feel that sound. That's it. You're not sounding it outside to the people. So that is a very wonderful. And I've seen your videos. I've learned from that. Like, I've seen your videos regularly. So whenever you're doing exercise. So I see those videos and I'm being practicing that sitting on chair, and my mother practices that. And sometimes my mother keeps her phone friend and looks into your videos and she's practicing. And yes, this is how needs to be done and it makes sense.
It's
Thank you
not
so
just
much.
for us. It's not just for us old people. It's for young people too.
Very true. Definitely yes. Definitely yes. So we have to practice that. Definitely yes.
Yeah.
And Vedant Sri, thank you so much for that sounds, because some communities might feel really offended, or maybe they feel uncomfortable practicing with some sounds which is not sounding them good. But you brought some other sounds which they can definitely practice. So let them do it. So some percentage of benefits for sure. So maybe the sound is different, but you really came up with an innovational idea which is really digestible, where people can accept it and practice it. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate what that's saying. And yes, we'll go further. So it's almost like it's going to be 9. So anybody have anything to say? I think Shubhalakshmi has something to say. Please go ahead, Shubhalakshmi.
Good morning, Dr. Rao. You briefly spoke about sattvic lifestyle. I believe that also includes the sattvic food.
Yeah.
There are two schools of thoughts. One which says onion and garlic are good for health. The other, which is more towards Jainism, which says that it's not good for health and it is not needed.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
You see, the onions and velly, both of them garlic. Both of them, they are supposed to stimulate the rajasic energy. That is what makes you run after things about entrepreneur, the drive, the sexual drive, and the enthusiasm about more stuff. All that is kind of frenetic, neurotic activity is rajas. It is needed, but it can easily go out of whack. And that's when this can be aggravated by onions and garlic and masalas and all that. So, in order to keep your mind and everything towards realization of the divine nature, you want to have this transmutation of energy from this sexual drive or ambition or all the materialistic goal drive, all that you kind of not to be there, from more worldly to the spiritual thing, they encourage that. But if you really understand, if you really do it, just because you ate them, it will not take you out of it, because your mind is always relaxed, your body is always relaxed, and you don't get into those reactions that make it much more. So I think the diet there is okay, and actually it has got so many. I'm sure Ramesh knows about this nutritional aspect of it. If you really examine, I have a book, Sattvic Kitchen, and I follow. That is from the Institute of India, Yoga Institute of India in Bombay. So I kind of use that because they have so many ways to obtain the sattvic ingredients, make it, and also really consume it too. But basically, once you reach certain state, Shubha, uh, then the sattvic thing will be automatic with you, because you can sense what is really dull or heavy food and what is this rajasic food, and then you naturally discard it. That's why you go more and towards nutritious fruits. That is what Krishna recommended. Juicy, nutritious fruits. That is the food we are supposed to take, not even vegetables. So,
Right. So the reason why I asked Doctor is, yes, I practice sattvic food to the greatest extent possible.
yeah.
Not always when we go out, especially it is challenging. And I take 50% or above as raw fruits. I mean, as in, raw meal,
Yeah.
which is predominantly fruits and some veggies
Yeah.
as salads. And so, am I missing out on any important nutrients just because I'm having this lifestyle? So, as you said, we don't use masalas.
Yeah.
It's all homemade, natural stuffs that we make.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, am I really missing out on any nutrient value?
It depends. It depends on the region and where you are doing what and all that. Suppose you are in the hills and you don't have any foods or any thing, but you only animals, that's required to survive. That's okay. But then if you do anything excessive, Shubha, that is the problem. See, if you have a balanced diet and also more towards a sattvic diet, then a little bit of roots and all that, that's okay. Then if you have the greens, if you have the multicolored vegetables and fruits, and you can have some yogurt and all that, you are okay. But otherwise, it is more than the nutrition. The important thing is where your mind is, where your sattvic nature is. Trigunatmaka. That is, you have transcended even the sattvic too. That is where you get to in your inner self inquiry, and all the other diet and exercise, everything else are external factors. They may not have that much influence once you are established in your being. Focus on that, then everything else will be easier.
Sure. Got it, doctor. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was wonderful. Yes, I think Varun can add little values for when it comes to if we are missing out any nutrition values. Sometimes, some symptoms in our body, looking at the tongue, looking at the eyes, eyeball, or maybe looking at the nails, we can find out what nutritional values are going down, or what is the deficiency of nutrition value which is going down. So yes, Varun, if you're in a good space, so please you can put little values. So before we end the room, please go ahead,
Yeah,
Varun.
ultimately, Raghavendra, it was a great session taken by Dr. Rao, and he's an expert. And well, when it is coming towards taking a sattvic diet and going for all those things, one should be aware and get his B12 and certain vitamins and minerals rechecked, so that or maybe you can supplement with those vitamin B12, choline, and all those things, because as the science progresses, these are mostly found in animal-based diet, which most of people can, while going for a sattvic or veggie, veganism, they can lack of these supplements, essential supplements. So one needs to recheck and can get those supplements done, added to their through basically supplementation, and then it is okay, I think, to be to choose that path, whatever you feel like.
Varun, being as a nutrition expert and a functional medicine expert, I think Varun, we can tell about some symptoms, maybe people they feel they're smelling very bad when they breathe. The breath is very bad, they don't realize that they are smelling bad, when they breathe. But others can recognize it very easily from very far. So these are the symptoms, where things are going wrong, or maybe some deficiency on on the maybe the B12 or something. I heard when you have a black line on your nails, you have a B12 deficiency. And people they say many things. If you have calcium deficiency, you have all your nails are all it's coming out it's a humpy dumpy kind of thing structure which you can see. So anything which you can talk about, if you are everything is good, you don't have any deficiency, but people sometimes they sleep a quality sleep for 8 to 9 hours, but still morning again they feel like sleeping. So these are some kind of symptoms. What you want to talk it out to anything about it, because it's a deficiency.
See, if you have, like, if we go particularly for B12 deficiency, you can see, your skin getting pale, you are having, weakness, fatigue, shortness of breath, okay, and, maybe tingling or numbness in your hands and legs or feet. Then, muscle weakness is there, brain fog is there, okay, you feel anxiety or, depression is there. So these are very common symptoms of vitamin B12 deficiency. Okay, and in if it goes well beyond that, I mean, it becomes very low, then you can have impaired vision. Okay, you can have peripheral neuropathy, in the sense you can sensory issues. You can get the sensory issues, and more, even if your vitamin B12 is quite low, then you can develop a higher risk of heart disease. So you need to check your homocysteine levels if they're fine or not. If they are going to pretty much higher, then you need to check whether your B12 levels are right or optimum or very low. So these are very common symptoms, and you can miss those things, miss these symptoms. Since you feel like depression and anxiety are all in the mind, and they are not affected by the food you are eating. So if you are deficient in B12, you may develop all those issues, and you feel that you're getting anxiety and depression because of the things that are going in your life. So yeah, it plays a pretty much part also. So apart from of course, mental health depends. But apart from mental health, you need to be focusing on the food and deficiencies which are going inside your body.
Let me give you a different perspective about this. See, Newtonian physics talked about reductionism, right? Modern medicine is still stuck on that, including the nutrition too. Whereas quantum mechanics is coming now, treating human beings as energy bodies. It is the energy that kind of makes it. For example, um, yogis have this healing effect that can turn on and they can heal a lot of things within themselves. That's a fact, And they also have this metabolic effect. For example, for ordinary people like us, we do the Agnisara. That's a breathing where first you breathe out completely and hold the breath. While holding the breath, you move the abdominal wall up and down, thereby abdominal wall massages the inner organs. This is an effect from the yoga people don't realize. Like, for example, I do prenatal, postnatal yoga for women so that they can have a very easy delivery because they are trained for that, right? Like that, you can really understand the energy, understand how to manipulate it, and then you can have minimal food, one meal a day, but still have a vigorous energy system in the body. Whereas right now, you are very lost with that. So you get to reduce yourself to eat and get this eat. Those are all symptoms that happen if you do chronically. But if you know how to improve your digestion efficiency and also lack of all these stress hormones, that's why yogis don't eat much, they walk a lot, they drink water. You know what's the most thing they do? They breathe a lot, deep breathing. You try to do that for a week and see how you can have only one or two meals, small meals. There's also not cooked meals, but more like fruits and vegetables. Maybe you can make the vegetables uh, steam and then eat them so that you can digest them, or the soup like and all that. But then you will see by manipulating the energy, which you don't know right now because you don't know how to generate the energy, how to maintain the energy, how to not to burn the energy. But once you have that, then you can really understand what is the real effect of our body by itself. If you don't interfere the intelligence of the body, it will take care of itself in lots of times. Lots of times it can heal. But we are so far away from that with this reductionist medicine. See, all the doctors also do not get they don't get the ancient wisdom because they have no idea about this energy system. But quantum physics is not stating we are all in one energy and energy bodies we are. Once you have a grip of that, you can manage your energy better. Mainly, I don't deplete my energy. That's why I have it's what I call ever renewing energy. That's a fact. It doesn't mean about the food and other things that we require that. Even now, we have what's called mitochondrial wash. And you can do that with the yogis, you can do that with the people who are well nourished, and you notice their vast difference between them. How they metabolize, how they produce less of digestive waste is remarkable. You know that some of the yogis, they are so advanced, they their fecal matter and the urine does not smell. So they are so efficient in their metabolic. I'm a modern physician, and I am not saying just like I believe them, but there are so much data about that. And Western medicine is more like using bodies and minds as us. But reality is that energy is not there. Body doesn't function, mind doesn't function. So we got to focus on that. That which is coming into us, giving us life, and manifesting through body and the mind. Maybe that's too much. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. And sometimes, even people say, you need to check your stool, whether your stool is sinking or floating. If it's floating, there is something seriously you need to consult some expert or a doctor. Maybe there is too much of gas, or there is some kind of issues or something which is happening in your health. If it's sinking, then it's normal, but you might have different symptoms which you need to notice. So these are the knowledge which, as being a human, you should know what's happening with, or maybe your children. So you have to recognize with this small thing. This is a basic knowledge. We need to keep this. We need to discuss all these things in Mondays, when we have sessions. Thank you so much for this. And it's 9:12, so we need to close the room. So does anybody, Shantanu, you want to add up anything? Since you are into can add little value, so we can close up with a good talks. If you want to add up some values to this topic, Shantanuji, if you're in a good space to talk.
No, I'm somewhere out, so I'm just listening. I will put out down all the points. Thank you very much, Dr. Rao. It was really a fantastic session, and we hope that you can take more sessions like this, because that is a really a learning process for us, all of us. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, Shantanu, when are you traveling to Melbourne again?
Not Melbourne. I'm going to Boston.
Oh, okay. So when are you traveling? Is it planned?
Oh yeah, already in May.
Great. You can put in this message on the group, if anybody wants any connections or anybody wants to give you connections on Boston, you can definitely put in that message. So, last time when you've been saying like that, you got connected with Ramesh Talent with Uganda. So in this way, things might be in your favor or it might be in someone's favor for sure. So absolutely. You can just put a message once you're planning things here.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shantanuji. Thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Rao, you want to conclude this session, before we close the room? Does anybody have anything to say before we close the room? Yeah, Dr. Rao, you can conclude the session. So we can close the room and be expecting
this is like a
episodes of this
ongoing
this
is an ongoing learning for me and for all of us, So I'm very happy to share lots of times because I see so much suffering because we are not knowledgeable about the simple things that we could do in our life. It's not just first the body and the mind and the interior. It's the other way around for the human beings, That's where the first thing has to be. Turn inward, be aware of what's going on, and then change that. And also because you are not aware how the mind functions, how your heart functions, you end up with a lot of suffering, and that is not needed. That's where I'm very grateful to the ancient wisdom. They showed us I don't have to travel anything outside. I only have to learn how to go within myself and discover this abundance we have. So I hope I made some sense on that. But you know what? I don't buy things just like that. I don't believe anything. I have to listen, I have to explore, I have to understand that is the truth, and I have to do it myself. Then only I speak about it. Okay. Some of the mysteries are being revealed to us, but they are already there in Charaka, so many Ayurveda books and all that. And then we are kind of being dark about that is really injustice for us. At my age, a lot of people have chronic diseases. The main reason I don't have chronic diseases is because I follow the yoga, I follow the Advaita Vedanta, and all. Advaita Vedanta is the real thing. This is yoga is only like a movie is playing, you shut it down forcibly, that is yoga. But you are aware the movie is playing, but you are aware that is still the movie. You don't get engrossed. That is Vedanta. So that is a bigger subject, important thing we should understand. So what I'm saying is turn to ancient wisdom. It is Japan, Egypt, China, India. Then you learn a lot about how they did. It's not going backward. It's like embracing the life from the beginning till now. What they have evolved was very significant. We can use the scientific knowledge, but then the wisdom comes from the ancient insight. Thank you, and I will see you again. Bye.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rao, and that was wonderful, and lots of blessings from you for all the people and your winning hearts from everybody. Thank you so much. And yes, tomorrow we have a session, and tomorrow morning at 6:30 we have a session on topic called Pure Nectar, Pure Natural Honey by Shobha. So Shobha is going to be a speaker for tomorrow, where they're into honey beekeepers, and they're going to talk about beehives and natural honey and the story of honeybee and honey, the many things is going to be conducted tomorrow. So don't miss it. And this upcoming Sunday, we'll be having about talking about anger management. People who have too much of temper and for very silly things, they get very angry. For very silly things, many things will happen. So we are going to talk about it. So how to manage things and how to manage this anger. With anger, what could happen to you? What could cause issues to you? What you will lose in your life. So all these things we'll be talking, and I'm sure. So Dr. Rao and many other couple of people the legendary